Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs trying to line. It's Kurt Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland as Garland leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. It is our Daytona 500, our championship race, like usual, here with the Outcast Racing League, as these drivers will have 200 laps, 500 miles to battle here this evening, and one of our championship 8 drivers will find themselves up there celebrating the Season 11 championship here in the Outcast Racing League. Already Season 11, man, these seasons are just flying by, but the fun has been non-stop. Some great, amazing racing week after week after week, and for a lot of these drivers, man, it is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be really, really interesting to see who's going to be able to find themselves up and into victory lane and trying to take home the championship here this year. As everyone's ready to roll, everyone's ready to rumble, it is the number 84, the Vanguard Sim Racing ride of Mr. Wayne Garland with the quick time here in qualifying. Wayne does qualify in that top spot, so he'll start on the pole. To his outside will be the Poor Boy, number 12 ride, the Poor Boy Motorsports machine of Josh Bromfield. Starting in position number 3 in the number 75 ride, that is the Yulberg. I can't quite read all that, but nonetheless, beautiful bar distillery, number 75 right of Evan Fuqua. Fuqua will start there in third. To his outside in the Poor Boy Motorsports, number 81, it's Anthony Garland, who will start there in fourth. Starting back in the fifth position in the Chipotle Mexican Grill, the number 71, it's Jamison Heath, who will start there in fifth. Starting back in that sixth position, the Vanguard Sim Racing, number 37, it's James Garland, who will start there in sixth. Starting back in the seventh position in the JRC Race Cars, number 19, it's CJ Jeffries there in seventh. His outside in that number 10 machine, it is Mr. Michael Wolf, and then we do see the 22 and Nicholas Barton and Shaw Landscaping. 22 rides starting there in ninth, and rounding out our top 10 in the Vanguard Sim Racing number 70, it's Mike Killingbeck who will round out the top 10 here on our starting grid. Starting back in the 11th position in the number 25 is Edward Belair. To his outside will be that 0-0, the Shenko Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting 0-0 ride of Mr. Colton Manage. Starting back in the 13th position in the Quantum Motorsports number 77, it's Casey Gross. To his outside in the Vanguard Sim Racing RT3 Designs number 1, it's Rob Tuiscu. Starting back in the 15th position in the Ohio Traveler Shenko Custom Designs, or Custom Diecast number 1 ride with the Rowdy Forever on the hood of that car. The 2 of Corey Crowell will start there in the 15th position. Starting back in 16th in the HendrickCars.com number 5 ride, that is Brandon Puffenbarger, and unfortunately looks like Joshua Benton not out there on the racetrack to start this race, so he's either going to have to start from pit road or potentially have to get in here a little bit later. Unfortunately, that may lose a lot of laps there for that number 69 ride, but nonetheless, here we go. 200 laps, 500 miles. Let's get a boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys, as the green flag quickly in to the air for the 84 of Wayne Garland. Wayne with a good launch, good jump, and quickly has Fuqua there to his back bumper, trying to get that inside lane moving, but the outside groove stacked up nicely right here. Pair of Poor Boy Motorsports with teammates lined up together. There is a little bit of a wobble down and out of core number 2 as drivers up through the gears as Buddha in the chat says, let's go, Al. How are you, mister? How you doing? I'm pretty sure that's Al, Mr. I'm pretty sure that's Al. I could be wrong, but I thought that was him. Nonetheless, Josh Bromfield out in front, the outside lane, able to prevail. Inside group just did not get rolling, especially down that back straightaway, and that allows Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, James Garland to push their way to the front of the pack, and Josh Bromfield will lead lap number 1 of 200 here this evening from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. So already some great racing action, some craziness out there on the speedway as drivers moving around, but they know this is a long race. You got a lot of laps, a lot of time to make some moves, to find your way up towards the front of the field here. You do not need to push hard. You do not need to put yourself into a bad situation right out of the get-go, as he says, yeah, it's Al here. Oh, baby, let's go, Al. How are you, brother? Long time no see, mister. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're, enjoying the beautiful Ireland summer. I mean, hopefully it's nice there. I'm sure it probably is. I'm sure it's absolutely amazing there in Ireland. And man, hopefully you're, hopefully you're good, brother. Hopefully you're good. But out in front, you do see our top 2 kind of get broken apart here. Anthony Garland and the 12 ride, the pair of Poor Boy Motorsports machines, go to the high side right here, and all of a sudden they get broken apart. And Anthony, falling like a rock, kind of gets shuffled out to that third groove here, and he is going to fall farther and further through the field. No drafting help to his back bumper. Not a whole lot that he can do. Luckily enough for 12 rider Josh Bromfield, Killingbeck does pick him up, does jump to his back bumper there, helps that 12 ride out, and now we do see the 12 He's going to move down low, so he's now going to leave the 70. Little high and dry right there. He gets down low into the inside groove here and hoping to try to get maybe a little bit of a freight train going here this evening as we get 50 laps here in stage number 1. Now, stage points are not going to be a huge issue here for any of our championship drivers. It is going to be nothing but just good hard racing here this afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun for each and every one of these drivers as Colton Manich, Corey Crowell, I do believe Michael Wolf, Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Brandon Puffenbarger, and Mike Killingback all get a chance to run for this championship here this afternoon. So 8 of our championship drivers all out there, all looking to try to find their way into victory lane. It's virtually, you win. You win the race, you win the championship if you're one of those 8 playoff drivers, or all you have to do is just finish in front of the other 7 to win that championship. You do not necessarily need to win the race, but you can push the guy that wins it and still beat the other drivers, the other 7 in the championship 8, to claim this championship here in Season 11 of the Outcast Racing League. So if you're Manich, Heath, Crowell, Wolf, even for Bromfield, Garland, Puffenbarger, and Killingback, the idea here to maybe sit back a little bit, take it easy, try to keep yourself out of any dangerous situations, trying to not get yourself tore up early on in this race. Putting yourself behind the 8 ball out of the get-go is definitely not a fun spot to be, and you can see a few of these drivers a little bit more content hanging out a little deeper in the pack, because that's where we do finally see Anthony Garland kind of fall back into line. So for Anthony, he's down low in the bottom groove there, and you do see Corey Crowell and Brandon Puffenbarger also kind of sitting back a little bit here. A little deeper in the field, maybe a little bit happier, just trying to, let some laps go by, make sure they can give themselves enough time, enough room to see what's happening in front of them, and that they can avoid any carnage or mishaps out there on the speedway. So it'll be fun to see, not only who can make it for their car, but who can survive mentally, physically, who has the computer that can withstand it. That's another big question. That's something that we've always seen here in these races. The 200-lap Daytona season finales here at the Outcast Racing League. It has claimed quite a few drivers out of it. Internet issues, power outages. We've seen drivers that have ran into PC issues and everything else that could be a major factor out there on the speedway that could, take you out, could eliminate yourself from contention here on the season. But you do see the beautiful 76 ride, the Apple Pie Whiskey Machine, looking to try to keep on working that inside groove. He's got that 71 of Jameson Heath all over his back bumper. Great to see Heath in here. Unfortunately missed last week. Luckily enough, was still far enough ahead in points that he was able to transfer through into this championship 8. Still has a chance to get after it here in this 200 lapper there for Heath to try to get into our, holy grail, into that championship victory lane. All these drivers that are in our championship, they want to be there. I feel like a couple of them have been there before and looking to try to make their way back into winning a championship here in the Outcast Racing League. So it's going to be fun to see is going to get it done. And who may play spoiler here? As you take a look, you see Wayne Garland and James Garland here at the front of the field. They're looking like they got a really, really good cars here this afternoon. Looks like they are hooked up together pretty nicely. But as I say that, a little bit of a back push down at a core number 4. It's James all over the back bumper, trying to push that 84 right of Wayne Garland. And unfortunately, almost took him around right there at a core number 4. Luckily enough, able to catch it, able to hang on to it, keep that thing rolling, and still able to hold on to the race lead. So great break right there for both James Garland and Wayne Garland, not wanting to run into early issues here this evening. But you see that inside lane, man, they are coming strong as the 71 of Jameson Heath trying to push this 76 of Evan Fuqua out in front. Fuqua trying to stick right there with him, trying to stay side by side with those top two. Again, oh man, it was a close call right there for that 37 ride. Almost gave a bump in the wrong spot on the racetrack and in the wrong spot of that race car just in front of him. And again, that was close to potentially almost taking that 84 ride out, as we do see one driver just in front of them. I believe that is Joshua Benton here. Benton got in a little bit late here for the Poor Boy Motorsports ride. Unfortunately, He's already a couple laps down, so that's a tough break to start with. But if everyone can stay in that lead pack, no major wrecks or anyone else falling a lap down here, the 69 ride can lose a couple laps, potentially could get them back here with a couple quick caution flags. As right now, he is the only driver that is currently 1 or 2 laps down out there on the speedway. So he is in line for the lucky dogs. He's just got to keep himself out of the carnage, keep himself out of the chaos, and he should be able to leapfrog his way into it. Should be able to leapfrog his way back into the battle here today. So it's not game over as of yet for Mr. Benton. But going 2 laps down early on, definitely never fun, never an enjoyable time here. But also being able to show up and battle here and compete, can try to help his teammates out. The Poor Boy Motorsports rides would definitely appreciate the extra driver there in their, back pocket to try to help push him along, to help try to, figure out and build a bit of a rapport here to kind of build up enough speed, enough power, and enough momentum to maybe steal stage points, maybe try to jump up and steal this win in the championship. They got 2 ponies in this with Bromfield and Anthony Garland, so they got a couple chances at it, a couple opportunities to try to win this championship here this year. I do believe for some of the other teams, if you look at the Poor Boy Motorsports, Bromfield and Garland both in the championship hunt. For the Middle Finger Motorsports, the MFM drivers here, Colton Manich, Crowell, and Brandon Puffenbarger, all 3 are a part of this championship. So those teammates, as much as they want to help each other out, they also got to think about themselves. And late in this race, I mean, teamwork, it does make the dream work, but if you're all competing against one another, you may be a little bit less inclined to try to, move out of the way or move up the racetrack or try to push with them there. You may leave them high and dry to try to put yourself into a better position to try to win this championship for yourself. And then we take a look here at some of these other drivers like Mike Killingbeck, part of that Vanguard Sim Racing team. He's chasing down this championship here this year as well. So, and then we do have, I believe for Heath, he's in the Second Chance Motorsports team. So for Heath, he's kind of not a lone duck. He's got CJ Jeffries here this evening to help him out. I believe for Michael Wolf, I don't think Michael is even in a Discord here. At least I don't see him in our Discord. So unfortunately, not sure if he's going to be even farther behind the 8 ball. I think, okay, there's Wolf. He's in the general chat with Evan Fuqua and Casey Gross. So you're going to wonder if maybe, Fuqua being in the Discord there, or not Fuqua, Wolf being in the Discord with Fuqua and Casey Gross, maybe those 2 will be a little bit more inclined to try to help him out, try to push him along and see if they can try to push that number 10 ride up and into victory lane. So everyone's got a couple teammates here. Everyone's got a couple teammates, a few drivers to kind of help them out and maybe, try to save them from, a bad mistake or a bad pit stop or something that, they can try to work together, try to game plan a little bit better and use it to their advantage. And we are probably going to see green flag stops here this evening. And now we've seen a lot of these races, kind of get won and lost down pit side. So a lot of issues up and down pit road, and unfortunately that could put you into a very, very difficult spot that could, unfortunately, unravel your day at the Speedway. So you want to be, pretty safe. You want to make sure that you're not making a huge mistake down pit road, and the best way to do that is try to come down with the biggest group you can. And if you've got a bunch of teammates out there, maybe you got another good team that's, willing to work with you, you can kind of split the field, come down pit road, try a little bit of different gameplay, a little bit of different strategy, and see if that works into your favor. But as of right now, each and one of these drivers just keeping their foot on the throttle, doing a great job keeping these cars pointing in the right direction. Everyone trying to just keep on slicing and dicing out there on the speedways. Wayne Garland will lead lap number 15. So 15 laps down. Still 185 left to go. We are going to be here for a while, so get your popcorn, get your soda pops, and get ready for a amazing night of racing action. Right now, man, the Vanguard Sim Racing team, whew, baby, they're looking strong. They're looking good here early on. They be making some moves, working their way to the front. As Wayne Garland, James Garland, 1 and 2, killing back up 7 positions, rolls there in that third spot on the Speedway. Colt Manich, the odd driver out of this top 5, there in 4th. He's up 8 positions. And Rob Tuwisku, who's now up 9 spots on the Speedway, sits in position number 5. So 4 of the Vanguard Sim Racing teammates all inside our top 5 right now. Sitting pretty out there on the speedways. Everyone else maybe just trying to take it a little bit easier, maybe trying to save a little bit more out there on the racetrack. But things have definitely cooled down and calmed down a little bit, so everyone's a little bit more single file, a little bit more at ease out there on the speedway, and everyone just trying to hit their marks, trying to get some laps clicked off the board here. It's a long race. You don't want to be making crazy moves or making huge mistakes out there that could, set you back or potentially cost you a race or any of these other drivers a good race as well. So try to keep it clean, try to keep it green. It's going to be probably one of the main goals for majority of this field. So a lot of these drivers just trying to click the laps off here. And for Wayne Garland, he'll say thank you very much, because that's going to give him a lot of time here at the front of the field, and that's going to really give him an opportunity to kind of figure out what his car is doing and what his car may need. For a lot of these other drivers that are a little bit more content back there deeper in the field, they're kind of sitting in the middle of the draft gear. They're trying to figure out what their car is like and how they need to find a little bit more speed or a little bit more draft that they can try to use to their advantage here. That's when they're in the middle of the pack or behind another driver. That could help them, but it could hurt them. Once they get towards the front of the field, once they get out in front, if you are, potentially, making those adjustments, as a middle pack driver, you all of a sudden get that clean air. You get to where you want to be, and that's out in front. Your car can drive a whole lot differently. Same goes for Wayne Garland. If he does get shuffled back, his car may go from, really, really good, really sturdy, and really just feeling perfect out there on the speedway throughout this run, especially being at the front of the field, having that clean air. Once that clean air disappears, that car can absolutely flip a switch, and it can go from really, really good to all of a sudden really, really bad just by losing 4 or 5 positions out there on the racetrack and losing that clean air there on the nose of your race car. So for Wayne, it's good for right now, but it may hurt him in the long run, especially if he does get shuffled back throughout pit stops or potentially, caution flags or anything else. It could definitely set him back here if he does end up making the wrong changes at the wrong time. So we'll have to wait and see, what the game plan is here. But you do see James Garland taking a big run, and he's going to work his way to the inside here of Wayne Garland. And I think right here, that was a great move. I think that was a perfect setup there by the Vanguard Sim Racing team, because I believe that James Garland there was probably starting to overheat a little bit. Sitting back behind that 84 for as long as he was, probably not getting a lot of clean air to the nose of that 37 ride. And I think he realized, hey, okay, my water temps are starting to climb a little too high maybe, and had to talk to his teammate, had to talk to that 84 ride. Hey man, give me the lead for a little bit, allow me to kind of get some clean air onto the nose of my race car, and try to cool this thing down, and at the same point in time, kind of get a little learning experience here himself. This is exactly what I think they needed to do early on. Just trying to, get some notes, try to figure some things out here with these race cars, because now Wayne gets to see kind of what his car will do in that dirty air, and for the 37 of James Garland, he'll get to see what his car can do here with the clean air, and they can adjust accordingly to try to make sure that they put themselves, into the right adjustments and into the right position late in this race, that they can take advantage of it and use it to potentially try to park themselves up and into victory lane. Now, I do believe for the Vanguard Sim Racing team, the only driver they have that is in the championship battle is the 70 rider, Mike Killingback, who rolls there in position number 3 here on the Speedway. Now has found all of his teammates, as we saw Colton Manich go to the high side. Manich went to the high side, and we do see the caution flag fly. So the yellow flag is out, and I believe it's for the 71 of Jamison Heath. Heath running into some issues here in the Chipotle 71 ride. Let's take a look back at it, see what happens here as looks like he's just gonna, oh no, looks like the 69 and the 10 ride. That's one of our championship competitors, Michael Wolf, going around right here. This is not what you want to see as a championship driver this early in the race, as it looks like the 69 just turned left there at a corner number 2. I don't know if he got a bump or someone hooked him. Nonetheless, as the 69 comes down, it just hooks this 10 right, and as he gets hooked, he swings up the racetrack back into lap here and right into that left rear quarter panel of that number 71 of Jamison Heath. That's just going to take Heath sideways as he goes around. That's where the caution flag flies. But let's take a look here at Joshua Benton's contact, because they're rolling out of corner number 2 right here, and it just seems like either the car steps out on him or you get some contact, but we'll take a look at it. So here he is out of 2, lined up back behind Jamison Heath, and then right here the car just shoots down the racetrack here. I'm not sure if he was trying to get down to the inside lane and just misjudged the gap and how much room he had down low to try to get to the inside lane, and unfortunately just kind of came down right in to that 10 rider. That's going to set him back. That's going to set Heath back here, and for a couple of our championship drivers, going to put them a little bit deeper in the field. Now, luckily enough, I don't think any major damage there for Heath, but I do believe for Michael Wolf did get some pretty solid contact here. So let's take a look here. I'm going to play this back. See kind of the contact right here. Here we go. Bam. There's the hit. There's the contact. Yeah, pretty solid right side damage there for that 10 ride. So unfortunately for Wolf, you'll have to try to get that thing fixed up, try to get it completely repaired and back into the battle here this evening, as everyone's going to hit pit road. Everyone except for this number 19 of CJ Jeffries. CJ, he's going to stay out here. So CJ stays out. Everyone else hits pit road. Now, I'm not 100% sure what some of the strategy calls may be. Not sure if anyone's going to get tires here. I don't think anyone would probably take tires this early, especially with tires not really being a huge factor here at Daytona. They can definitely help you out a little bit later in this race. I mean, if they're not green flag pit stops, I feel like you're going to see a lot of drivers, going, 2 tire stops, or maybe just throwing, a full 4 set on just to try to help, feel a little planted out there on the racetrack. That extra little bit of grip does help a bit, making moves, slicing and dicing up and down the racetrack, and just trying to keep your foot in the throttle out of these corners and try not to step on it and loop it around there is definitely a lot easier when you have those 4 fresh tires. So for each and every one of these drivers here, though, I mean, they play the strategy, they get the fuel, they get ready to rock and roll, they get ready to get back after it here, as we're about midway through our first stage of the day, as our stages will be at the completion of lap number 50 and the completion of lap number 100. So we do have a couple laps left to go here before our stage break, and that means there's still time. If you're a little deeper in the field, you take a couple big runs, you take some chances, you could potentially find your way up and in to the picking up a good points, or potentially even try to use that to your advantage to pick up a championship or anything else that you may need. Nonetheless, we'll get them stacked up, we'll get them racked up, we'll get ready to rock and roll and get back after it here in this one, as we get a quick word, and actually let's see if we can get forward here a little bit. Here we go. All right, so yeah, they are still single file. Let's see if we can get a little word in here from our amazing sponsors over at RT3 Designs.
Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life, from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life, from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC. Built on precision, designed for life.
Alrighty, here we go. Stacked up. Door to door once again, ready to get back after it here this evening as the Outcast Racing League ready to get back at it here midway through our first stage of the day. Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna pick up the stage win? Obviously, points are really no threat here for any of these drivers in our championship battle. The championship 8, it is a winner-take-all race. So, points really aren't on the line, but these are nice little breathers here. Anytime we get these caution flags or, some of the stage breaks, it gives these drivers a little bit of an opportunity to kind of sit back, relax a little bit, take some breaths, and kind of get, refocused, relocked in, and ready to rumble again out there on the racetrack. And here we go. The time is now, here we go. Green flag back out into the air. Is the 19 rider, CJ Jeffries. Great launch right there for CJ. Good launch, good jump. He's able to get out in front and trying to just lead the charge here with the Vanguard Sim Racing team. Trying to get lined up down low, and there it is. Killingbeck's able to find a gap in behind James Garland and Wayne Garland, and they'll pick right up where they left off. And now we're going to have to try to figure out a way to get around this 19 rider, CJ Jeffries, though. Now, CJ did not come down pit side, and here he is down the apron on the back straightaway. Looks like he's just going to follow the rear of the field here. Played a little strategy there. Did not come down pit road. But now you see the 19 down the apron. That was a bit of an oddball move right there because not only did he give up all the track position he had gained from the pit strategy, but now here he is back deeper in the field. And I think with that hop, skip, and a couple jumps down the back straightaway and into corner number 3 there, I don't think he is able to stick with the draft here. Looks like he may lose that draft, and I think it's already gone. He is unfortunately dropping like a rock still, so it's a tough break there for him, but a great break for the Vanguard Sim Racing team as they work their way back out in front here. So again, it is James Garland, Wayne Garland, 1 and 2. Killingbeck, one of our championship competitors, rolls there in 3rd, and Rob Tuwiscu in position number 4. Evan Fuqua's back in that 5th spot here on the Speedway. Great to see Fuqua still out there, still battling here this evening. And behind him, we see Edward Belair, Jamison Heath, another one of our playoff competitors here and championship drivers. They're in that 7th position. Josh Bromfield's back in 8th. Then we do see Anthony Garland, Nicholas Barton back there in the 10th position. Colton Manich, Michael Wolf, Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger, and Casey Gross is our top 15. CJ Jeffries, who has lost that draft and unfortunately has fallen all the way back into that 16th position here. Already about 9 seconds behind our race leaders, 9 seconds back of them, about 8 seconds back of that lead pack. So unfortunately here, he's going to be running, multiple laps, shorter than everybody else, which is going to put him into a very, very tough spot. I'm not sure what the strategy call was there. If you thought maybe throughout that caution, he'd be able to save enough fuel that he'd be able to make it to the end of the stage. I think everyone else is going to be good here to make it on fuel to the end of stage number 1 now with that yellow. So I don't know why he did not come down pit road. That's an interesting call. Definitely a bold strategy there for CJ. We'll have to see how that pays off here. Cotton is out in front. James Garland, Wayne Garland, man, they have been hooked up together all night long. They've been doing a fantastic job pushing here, and now, obviously having their teammates Killingbeck and Tuwiscu right there with them, making things, pretty easy here at the front of the field, as you do see the outside lane back there trying to get rolling, trying to get something going here, as that is the Middle Finger Motorsports team back there trying to get lined up, trying to get battling towards the front here, as we did see, Colt Manich, Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger, 3 of those MFM teammates lined up back there deeper in the field in that outside lane. They also have the 69 rider Joshua Benton in there trying to help him as well. They're trying to get that outside lane moving. I believe for Joshua, He did not get the lucky dog there through that yellow flag, being a part of that yellow flag. So for the 69 ride, unfortunately, just does not get the lap that he needed there, and unfortunately is still 2 laps down. But out in front in that 37, James Garland just sitting pretty here. Let's see if we can jump on board and go for a couple laps around here with this 37 ride, as sitting pretty. Obviously, this is a great spot and a great sight to see. No drivers in front of you, no craziness happening or really nervousness, as if you're out from the field, you only really got to worry about the drivers that are back behind you. But if no one's really jumped up and made a pass around you here throughout this race, and seeing 3 teammates back there on your back bumper, you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling pretty confident here up at the front of the field. But as you go back deeper in the pack, let's see if we can find, where's Anthony? There's Anthony Garland. So still single file, but things are a little bit differently back here, man. The air changes, the drive changes, and your driving style kind of gets completely a little bit messed up. So you got to be careful that you don't take too big of a run into someone's back bumper and wreck themselves and potentially wreck yourself. But you just got to kind of roll into it, ease into it, and just kind of hang out back here, saving fuel, saving your car if there is a potential, issue out there on the speedway that could, have yourself getting taken out of this race early on with some major damage. So playing it safe is going to be the key for a lot of these cats, especially throughout these first 2 stages. As out in front, James Garland, Wayne Garland, Killing Beck, and Tuwisku continue to roll. 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the speedway, but you do see the Poor Boy Motorsports rides trying to get that outside lane rolling here once again. Bromfield jumps up there. Anthony Garland jumps up there. They got the 22 ride of Nicholas Barton there helping him out. And I believe the 69 ride of Joshua Benton there as well, trying to help them get moving back towards the front of the pack here. So we'll see, if potentially Bromfield and or 81 Anthony Garland can work their way back up to the front here, trying to get something rolling in that outside lane. They've pulled up door to Dorth, our 4th place driver, that number 1 right now, up to 3rd here, door to door with Mike Killingback. So they're definitely finding that extra little bit of speed, that extra little bit of drive out there on the racetrack. And for right now, it's working nicely for them, and they're trying to just get something going here, trying to get something exciting happening out there on the racetrack. Is nice and easy. Back down and across the line, they will complete lap number 32. So 32 laps down. Still a lot of racing left to go. A lot of laps, a lot of racing, a lot of action left to be had here this evening, and a lot of movement right there. Oh, baby. They're snaking down through corner 1 and 2. Luckily enough, everyone's able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction, and everyone's able to keep on battling here this evening. Well, that was a very, very close call again there for James Garland and Wayne Garland out there on the racetrack. Luckily enough, it did not come back to bite them in the butt, but you do see that outside lane has been formed up nicely. They've been making some moves, and it's going to push this 12 ride of Josh Bromfield out in front. So we do get a new race leader here at Daytona, as the 12 ride of Josh Bromfield going to lead lap number 34 here this evening. So 34 laps in, still 164 laps left to go. So there's still a lot of time. A lot of time for pretty much everyone to get a chance to jump to the front of the pack here, everyone to kind of lead a lap, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see who's going to be able to make the right moves at the right time, avoid some of the big wrecks, and just trying to put yourself into a winning position, not only for the race, but for that championship as well. But right now, I mean, it's still anyone's game. There's so many laps left to go. If you have early issues, you run into early problems, you may still have a lot of time to be able to bounce back from it, kind of put yourself back into the battle there. We'll have to wait and see kind of how that gets played out, because if you fall multiple laps down, it can take you out of it. But I think for the most part, most drivers should be, I'd say, pretty good here. It's going to be interesting, because We've already seen one driver kind of off the pace and losing that draft, and now unfortunately parked down pit side here. So looks like things have gotten even worse here for CJ Jeffries, as Jeffries has taken his car down pit side and has not rejoined this race as of yet. He's just kind of sitting down there on pit road. No major damage or anything dealt to that 19 ride, but being parked down pit road, unfortunately here, has him already going, I believe, 6 laps down out there on the racetrack, and that is going to be very, very hard to battle back from. I don't think he's, well, I can't say, I don't think he would be able to gain that back, but definitely going to make things that much tougher for him. But out in front, taking that race lead, was that 25 ride, the beautiful Detroit Lions machine of Edward Belair. He gets a chance to lead some laps and put himself out in front. Now we take a look at Killing Beck. He's looking to try to race his way up to the point. Same with Rob Tuwisk, who is there looking just kind of slingshot up and around that number 25 machine. Especially as these laps click down, we inch closer and closer to the end of the stage. Now, I don't think there's anything extra on the line or the stage points. I mean, the points aren't really going to help, any of the drivers battling for the championship, but it'll be fun to see how that'll help them out, how that'll kind of fix things up and put them into a good position. But nonetheless, some great racing as Killingback does find that outside groove, does get a great run, and he does steal that race lead away from the number 25 Edward Belair. Now you do see, man, okay, Mike's going to jump up to the high side. That's going to open up the inside groove here for the number, I believe it's the number 1, Rob Tuwisku down low. So Tuwisku potentially going to try to lead some laps here. He wants to be out in front. He wants to click a couple off, but down across the line, yeah, it was too close to call right there. Way too close to call. So it's either Killingbeck or Tuwisku who are sitting out in front and sitting pretty right now for Killingbeck. He's got his teammate James Garland up there on his outside and on his back bumper. Wayne Garland's up there as well. So for the Vanguard Sim Racing machines, they've kind of navigated their way up and to the second groove out there on the racetrack, because everyone else kind of went a little bit more single file. And unfortunately for a few of these drivers, a little further back, you take a look here at Evan Fuqua, Michael Wolf, Casey Gross. They're a little bit deeper in the field. Colton Manich and Corey Crowell. The 5 right of Puffenbarger all right there as well. These guys are scored back in the 13th, 14th, and 15th position out there on the Speedway. For Joshua Benton, he is also a lap down in the free pass spot, though. If he does get a lap back, could get himself right back into the battle here this evening. And for CJ Jeffries, still parked down pit side in the JRC Race Cars number 19 ride. But take a look here. Wayne Garland, unfortunately, kind of sliding back a little bit here, trying to battle back. They've got the outside groove. Obviously, we see the 1 right of Rob Tuwisku ends up leaving the inside groove high and dry. He jumps up to that high side, which could open up the door here for that beautiful number 25, Edward Belair, to try to squeeze his way by these guys. Use a little side draft. He kind of work his way out in front of the field here. You see Jameson Heath there as well. He was trying to take a peek underneath that 25, the 12 of Bromfield. He's right there ready to pounce as well. We do see the 69 of Joshua Benton, unfortunately, go a couple laps down already early in this race. Now, I believe this time by, yes. So I believe he's already leapfrogged CJ Jeffries, and that's going to put Jeffries at the rear of the field here. And now, unfortunately, about 10 laps, about to be 11 laps down out there on the racetrack, which I would say more than likely, unless if he gets back out there in a quick hurry, gets a lot of lucky dogs or anything else. I don't think he gets back into the battle. I don't think it kind of comes back to help him here this evening. But nonetheless, some great racing. Some great battling here. Everyone's trying to work their way to the front here. A few drivers a little bit more at ease back there deeper in the field. You do see Evan Fuqua, Michael Wolf, Casey Gross all right here kind of in this second little area here, the second grouping out there on the racetrack, because they've kind of fallen back quite a bit more than that lead group. As there is that lead group, and the bigger group you can be with, the quicker lap times you're more than likely going to lay down, and the better opportunity you may have to try to find victory lane here this evening. But I feel green flag pit stops maybe on the horizon here with that mid-stage caution flag. I don't know if we will. I think everyone may be good on fuel. That may work into their favor. I think the only one that may have been tight on fuel would have been that 25 ride of CJ Jeffrey. Sorry, the 19 ride of CJ Jeffrey says he did not come down pit road during that first caution flag. And unfortunately, right as we went back, green flag racing kind of fell to the rear of the field, then off the racetrack, and not sure how long he's going to be down there, as he may be down there for the rest of the night. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out for him. But nonetheless, we do see the Vanguard team, once again, 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the Speedway. Will anyone have something for him? Will somebody be able to jump up and steal the race lead away from any of these drivers? Man, we're quickly finding out as we inch closer and closer to the end of this first stage. It's going to be fun to see who can get it done and who can pick up the dub here in this one. But for Mr. Tuisku, he continues to lead the charge. Killingbeck's there in second with James Garland and Wayne Garland there in third and fourth. Back in that fifth position, it is Edward Belair with Anthony Garland, Josh Bromfield, Nicholas Barton, and Jameson Heath there in position number 14. Back in the, or not 14th, that's 9, sorry. Evan Fuqua's there in the 75 ride, 76. iRacing says 75. His paint scheme says 76. So whichever one it may be there for Evan Fuqua there in 10th. And then we do see Michael Wolf, Casey Gross, Colton Manich. And number 5, rider Brandon Puffin Parker, the multiple lap down. Number 2, Corey Crowell right there with him as well. And unfortunately here, I think for a couple of these guys that are still just trying to keep themselves in it, maybe not to necessarily, win it here in the first stage or second stage. These guys are a whole lot more content back here deeper in the pack, as they've actually fallen back about 6 or 7 seconds behind that lead pack. They are quite a ways away from those drivers in front of them, and I think that's exactly what they want to see, because that's going to put them into a spot where, one, they can maybe save a little bit more fuel back there, but at the same point in time, may be able to game plan a bit better of a strategy for each and every one of these guys. So it's going to be fun kind of see, what the fuel strategy, tire strategy, what it all may play out as, and who's going to get the, maybe a little extra here, with the right changes to the race car throughout all these pit stops. But, long race, a lot of laps here at Daytona, and obviously not a huge field either. Kind of makes it that much tougher on your boy here. Obviously going for quality over quantity out there on the Speedway, and we definitely don't have a super huge field, but a lot of very, very fierce competitors, and it's going to be a lot of fun all night long. But Rob Tuisku and his Vanguard Sim Racing teammates, man, they are feeling absolutely A-okay right now, sitting here at the front of the field in position number 1 and 2 out there, 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the Speedway. Still trying to kind of sweep that top 4 spots in stage number 1. Could be a huge amount of points for their team championship and their team points as well here. So I think for a lot of these guys, that's kind of what the game plan is to kind of stay here at the front, try to work themselves maybe into a team championship here this season. So fun to see. I can't quite see where team championships or anything else would be posted. I was hoping that we could find something. We try to get a look at it, try to figure something out there, but it's going to be fun to see. Nonetheless, I mean, some great racing, some great battle, and still these guys putting together a hell of a show here in this one, as good solid racing, man. Good solid racing, good solid action out there on the Speedway, as out in front, these guys looking to try to win that first stage of the day. that Vanguard Sim Racing team. I mean, all they got to do, the poor boy team, they're kind of lined up there in that outside lane. It may take Wayne or James, maybe to throw a couple blocks, try to kill their momentum, try to keep them back there behind them. But I think for a lot of these drivers, they've kind of really broken apart here. You take a look a little deeper in the pack at some of the MFM drivers here. You look at Manich, the 5, Brian Puppenbarger, the 2 there are Corey Crowell. They're a little farther back here in the field. They are still about 9 seconds back of our lead pack here. You can throw, Wolf right into that mix. The 77 of Casey Gross in there as well. So I believe Evan Fuqua there as well. So 6 drivers kind of falling back here way deeper in the field. And that leaves our top 9 in that lead pack. Our second 6 pack out there on the racetrack quite a bit deeper in the field here. It is about 8.5 seconds between Manich and this number 71 of Jamison Heath. And there's only another lap to go here in this stage. And for the Vanguard Sim Racing team, it's full speed ahead for these guys, man. Full speed ahead for them. Poor boys got nothing. They trying to figure something out there down the back straightaway. Try to get lined together here. Hoping to try to take a big run down through quarter number 3 and 4. We'll see what they got left in store here. And it's nice and easy down to quarter number 3. For the number 1 of Rob to Wisku. Down and out at quarter number 4. Back down and across the line. Rob to Wisku will pick up our first stage win of the day. So the first stage going to come to a close here, and it is Rob to Wisku who wins the first stage of the evening, man. That is great break there for Rob Tuwiscu to get the stage dub. James Garland, Mike Killingbeck, Wayne Garland all up there inside our top 4. You did see a bit of a run finally get going there for the 69 ride of Mr. Benton, as I believe Joshua was trying to snag an extra spot there, trying to snag an extra lap back right there. If he could have got in front of our race leaders, it could have put him into a line not only again for the lucky dog, but could have went from being a couple laps down to being only 1 lap down and get that lucky dog. Could have been back on the lead lap and could have been a great break there for him. Unfortunately, he will still be scored a lap down as he is going to get a free pass. He's going to get the lucky dog here during this yellow flag and the stage break. Unfortunately, being 2 laps down, will not get a chance to get that second lap back. But for Rob Tuwiscu, James Garland, Mike Killingbeck, Wayne Garland, man, these guys did a fantastic job there in our first stage of the day. Huge shout out there to the Vanguard Sim Racing team for being able to jump up there, put together a solid race, solid run, and obviously early on putting themselves into a really good position, winning that first stage of the day. That's definitely a big confidence booster in their ability and their opportunities here to try to find their way into victory lane here this evening and potentially trying to get this championship for their teammate Mike Killingbeck. So we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to roll here once again in just a few more moments. We're going to get a quick break in here. We're going to step aside with our Outcast Racing League anthem, and a huge shout out again there to Rob Tuwiscu for picking up our stage win as we'll get ready now for stage number 2.
Radio check 1 2, radio check. Over 2. Run the bomb through the corner, lane up through the trial zone. Not sure why we did that, I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody to get to the bottom. We should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit.
15 at Cameron Combs. Combs trying to work his way. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and Garland leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done as the Mexico.
Radio check, check, 1, 2, radio check. Over Bill. Run the bomb through the corner, lane up through the tile. Not sure why they did that, I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. Somebody's got it right in front of me.
Alrighty, here we go. We get them stacked up, racked up, ready to get back after it here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers able to get a good stop in, get fuel, get tires, get everything else that they desire, and now get ready to get back after it for our second stage of the day. Is our second stage about to get underway for each and every one of these cats? Who's it going to be? Who is going to find their way up and in to victory lane here this evening as the number one of Rob Tuisku in front, able to win that stage? He stays in that top position. He'll be the control car for this restart, but you gotta know that him and his teammates in the Vanguard Sim Racing rides are going to try to work a little bit of magic here on this restart. Try to figure out a way to try to get these guys in front of them. Try to get lined up 1, 2, and 3, and 4 here again in this run. They do not want to get broken apart, so trying to play a little bit of extra, strategy here on the restart may be the difference maker. Now, looks like the 70 right here, a Killingback has room to come down. Wayne Garland, James Garland, still door to door. It looks like James rolling out of it a little bit. Wayne's going to slide up down in front of him, and it is again Vanguard Sim Racing 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the Speedway as they are able to make a perfect restart right there. That's exactly what you wanted down into corner number 1. Kind of get things a little bit more, cool, calm, and collective there at the front of the field and getting lined up with teammates 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the Speedway. Definitely gives you the ability here to kind of not only control the pace of this race, but also gives you control of, trying to keep these guys back there at bay, as you have a couple drivers that can kind of act as blockers for that second lane. If they get rolling, if they get battling and find their way up here towards the front of the field again, you can kind of jump in front of them, then control both lanes. But as of right now, seems like everyone's kind of content with just clicking some laps off here, getting closer and closer to that checkered flag. And luckily enough, everyone is still in it to win it. I do believe Colton managed here in the 0-0 ride to come down pit side back on lap number 52. Manage did end up going a lap down here, so that's a bit of a heartbreaker there for Colton, because I'm not sure why he was down pit road for an extended period of time. Nonetheless, he does lose a lap, and that is a tough spot to be if you're the 0-0 machine. But luckily enough, he is in that lucky dog position. But you'll have to battle with the 69 rider, Joshua Benton. Benton did get the lucky dog, did get the wave around, back on a lead lap there, or not back on a lead lap, but back to 1 lap down throughout that stage break. So for the Poor Boy Motorsport 69 ride, still trying to battle his way back to the lead lap. Now has to battle with Manage for that free pass position for that lucky dog here. There's a yellow flag throughout the stage, or potentially the stage end. could bring that yellow flag out and give that lucky dog out. So it'd be fun to see if Joshua can find his way up there towards the front of the pack here in this one. Unfortunately for CJ Jeffries, he has taken his car down behind pit wall and out of this race. CJ unfortunately only ran 30 laps. Looks like that is going to be it for him this evening. So no more 419 right out there on the Speedway, man. That's a heartbreaker, man. It's always fun seeing CJ out there getting after it, trying to battle, trying to hunt their way up and into, a good drive and maybe into a good finish here in the series. So it'll be fun to see, obviously, hopefully we get him back here for the next season. I know it's going to be a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of a break here with the Outcast Racing League throughout the summertime. Now, there may be something fun in the works. I know some of the admins have been talking and potentially trying to maybe set something up for, maybe a little of, summer super speedway series that could be something fun, something interesting to do to, be able to, have some fun, enjoy their summers for the drivers that aren't busy or, have too much going on or anything else. So still could be something in the works here for the Outcast Racing League. Now, I don't know if those races will be, put out there, if those races will be broadcast or not, or if they'll just be kind of fun runs for all these other drivers. But nonetheless, man, it's been fun. It's been some great racing, and it's going to be, a great off season here, I think, for a lot of these drivers. But here today, man, we still got a lot of laps, a lot of action, and still got to figure out who can win this championship. Obviously, for Manich, being the first championship driver to lose a lap out there on the racetrack is a whole lot tougher. And now we see some more issues. Casey Gross running into some problems here. Contact and damage down into that tri-oval. Looks like maybe Joshua Benton getting a little squirrely right here. So Benton, I don't know, kind of again, seemed like that 69 race had a bit of a rough go with the car just kind of taking off to the left here. See if we get another look at it. This is out of 4. And then right here, I don't know if that was maybe a little net code right there as well. Looks like the 77. At one point right here, they were close together. Kind of pulls away from him. Yeah, 69 definitely coming down. And then, it's contact there nonetheless. I mean, tough battling door to door, but you can definitely see the 69 ride here. Let's see another angle at it here again. 77, you can see kind of judge the gap down to the yellow line. I mean, it's tough to say. One kind of coming down, the other kind of coming up, maybe just trying to side draft a little bit off of one another. Unfortunately, they get timed together. They both go for a slide there. Big contact into the outside fence for Joshua Benton. And then, obviously, for Corey Crowell, Jamison Heath, the 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger, they got to do a bunch here to try to avoid it, try to keep themselves out of that carnage. Luckily enough, they are able to avoid it. And they'll be still in the battle, but now having to try to battle from a little deeper in the field out there on the Speedway, as you see Puffenbarger and Crowell, they're able to find each other, so they'll get lined up back here in the 12th and 13th position. Luckily enough, no damage to either. You do see the 69 rider Joshua Benton fall back in behind them here. Now he's hoping that he can stick with these guys, try to help them out, and try to stay, maybe a lap better here, and still stay only 1 lap down out there on the racetrack instead of losing more time. But you gotta wonder if that damage may affect this race car, may cause some overheating issues, may have some wheel damage where we may see some more mistakes out of the 69 ride. But luckily enough, he does pick up the draft off the 5 and that 2 ride, and they're able to kind of work together now out there on the Speedway. Now, unfortunately, I believe for Casey Gross, Casey here does not have any drafting help. He has nobody here with him, and for that 77 ride, he's just going to continue to drop like a rock, running roughly about 4 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds slower than our race leader. So being way off the pace like that, unfortunately, he's going to go a lap down here in a quick hurry. And then that's the last thing that drivers like, Joshua Benton and or Colton Manich want to see is, oh no, Manich is lost connection here. I think Manich connection dropped due to download packet loss for Colton Manich. Oh no. Heartbreaker there for Colton Manich. That's our first victim of a PC issue, internet issue here this evening. Now, knock on wood that, we're lucky enough that have no one else run into that problem, and also knock on wood that we don't run into that problem ourselves here on the broadcast. But for a lot of these drivers, I mean, this is a true test of their equipment, their rides, and everything else, man. This is a lot longer than what majority of us tend to run on a day-to-day basis here. These 500-mile long races are really, really hard on your equipment, on your PCs, your wheels, everything else here that you use for iRacing. So having to stick with it for that long, having to stick out there on the racetrack. Now, obviously, only being an hour into this race for Manich, unfortunately, you expect not to have an issue like that, but could have been internet or something that may have went out there for him, or maybe it is a PC issue. Most guys run about that hour long, a week, or for most league races, that hour to 2 hours. So that's kind of the main area for everybody. But once they start getting more into that, 2.5 to 3 hours area, that's when we start seeing even more drivers run into issues here, with potentially having internet connection problems, power outages, PC issues, anything that could potentially take them out of the race. So here in this one, obviously a little earlier than expected, but unfortunately for Colton Manich, looks like he's going to be the first victim of that here this evening. But for the Vanguard Sim Racing team, man, they are feeling A-okay here at the front of the pack. Just sitting easy, feeling breezy, running 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the Speedway. And obviously with some of the other drivers running into their issues, it's kind of broken up this pack a little bit more. And for the most part, it's kind of gotten things a little bit more cool down out there on the racetrack, where things are a little bit more, spread out, a little bit more at ease, and drivers not trying to battle door to door. Unfortunately, I believe for Casey Gross, he has taken his car. Oh, no, there he is. He's still out there. Now, for Casey, has got a lap down here. So, for the Quantum Motorsports number 77 ride, he is shown as a lap down as of right now after coming down pit side back on lap 64. Benton also still a lap down out there on the Speedway. And for Manich, out of this race, same with CJ Jeffrey. So, we started with 17. Now we're down to 15 here. And we got still 2 drivers rolling out there that are now a lap down out there on the racetrack. And it's going to be a tight fight here. I mean, Casey and Josh are kind of right there tight together, 14th and 15th. And whoever is in front of the other one during, maybe the stage break or potentially a caution flag could be the difference maker to getting back on the lead lap, back into the action here, staying trapped a lap down for Joshua Benton, man. You'd love to get on a lead lap. He's been a lap down pretty much all day long after missing the start of this race and losing 2 laps right out of the get-go. Definitely does not help him, but now he sees 69 blinking a little bit there himself. He's got to be careful that he does not get yeeted from the server for packet loss or, just connection issues there. Now, here we go. We do see Casey looking to try to get around him. Casey's going for that 14th spot into that lucky dog position. They're open to battle door to door back here. Unfortunately, not quite the run that the 77 ride was hoping for into corner number 3. Quickly dives back down in behind that 69 ride. Keeps that draft and keeps on battling here this evening. But out in front, keeping the peace and feeling nice and easy here at the front of the field, the Vanguard Sim Racing team, man. Who's going to beat them? Who's got enough left in the tank? Who's going to be there at the end to try to steal the dub away from the Vanguard team here this evening, man? It seems like they are absolutely hooked up, and each of them on the right page here in this race. They've been right there, perfect strategy. They've been making the right calls, right moves to, get these restarts down pat, and whatever they've done, man, it's been working out nicely for them, and here they are. Throughout majority of this race so far, at the front of the field, leading the charge, whether it was Wayne Garland or James Garland or even Mike Killingbeck, and Tuisku leading some laps out there on the racetrack and just feeling A-okay here at the front of the field. And honestly, for Killingbeck, I mean, he's looking to go for that championship. His teammates are looking for a win. They're looking for a good run. But obviously, at the end of the day, they're hoping to try to get that 70 ride into victory lane and winning the championship here in Season 11 of the Outcast Racing League. But out in front, I mean, Tuisku, man, he's just been rolling perfectly here. And as they head back down through that tri-oval, across the line, they'll complete lap number 70. So 70 laps down. Still 130 laps left to go here in this race. Still a lot of laps, still a lot of battling left to be had here this evening. So we are far from done here this afternoon, man. There's still a lot of time to race your way up and into victory lane. It's 70 laps down, and we're virtually about an hour or so into the race here since the drop of the green flags. So for a lot of these drivers, they know they're in for the long haul, man. They're going to be running here with, you know, caution laps, everything else. It's going to be probably about 2 to 3 hour long race. So you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. Hit your marks. Don't make any huge mistakes and take yourself or any of these other fellow competitors or teammates of yours out of contention here this evening as well. So just trying to keep yourself in it. You got to stay in it to win it. And unfortunately, you know, for a few drivers already kind of out of it. Now, we did see Colton Manich was able to get back in here. He did get reloaded into the server and is once again back out there on the racing surface. But for the Schenko Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting 0-0 ride, falling back and losing now, I believe he has scored at 7 laps down. 7 laps down right now for the 0-0 ride. Could potentially fall to 8 laps down as our race leaders are still rolling out there. And, you know, they're not too far away from potentially, you know, putting him a lap down as they'll be headed down through corner 1 and 2 right now. You see the 0-0 down that back straightaway here. So as he enters corner number 3, here's our race leaders kind of rolling down through corner number 2 and now exiting corner number 2. So probably roughly about half a track away from losing another lap there if you're that 0-0 ride. And now we do see one driver making a green flag pit stop here. It is the number 69 ride, Joshua Benton. Benton's down pit road in that Poor Boy Motorsports machine, getting fuel and rolling back out there onto the Speedway. So for the 69, he's going to play a little bit of strategy now. I'm not 100% sure about this strategy call, as this will put him into a tough spot. Now being, I do believe, again, 2 laps down with our race leaders right there going by him. So yeah, he's going to be 2 laps down here. Luckily enough, if he can build the speed enough here, he can try to catch that draft, but I don't think he's going to have time to, as you can just see how quickly these guys are moving and grooving out there on the racetrack. And as he enters off of corner number 2, I mean, you take a look, he's already fallen that far back. He does not have the draft here, so he is going to fall back even farther. And it's just going to kill a lot of time for him. This is really going to put him into a difficult position, being kind of that far back out there on the field. And I believe, again, blinking here. So, got to be careful, man. I'm quite surprised iRacing still hasn't kicked him already. I mean, he's blinked quite a few times here throughout this race. I'm quite surprised that they have not yeeted him yet for, you know, packet upload loss or anything else. But out in front, Rob Tuisku continues to lead the charge here. Everyone inside our top 10, 11 drivers. Got 11 with Jameson Heath back here, kind of at the tail end of this field. They're all kind of, you know, chilling right now. None of them are really putting up too big of a fight, battling too hard. They know it's still early. They know that the points don't really matter for the stage break or anything else. It's more or less a competition caution to get everyone stacked back and racked back together out there on the Speedway. And for Rob Tuisku and Vanguard Sim Racing team, they're saying, all right, thank you very much, because you guys want to take it easy and try to keep yourselves out of the carnage. We'll jump here at the front of the field and hope to try to gain a big chunk of team points here and try to put themselves into a position where they get to, you know, maybe try to leapfrog a team or two and try to get a better finish or try to win that team championship here this season. I'm not too sure what the team points are looking like, but it would be fun. It would be fun to see. Colt Manich in the chat says 30. Yeah, I think 30 laps is the run that took him out of the race. I think he ran 30 laps and then lost connection. I feel like it was more than that, though. CJ Jeffries ran 30 laps, though. That's a tough one. So I don't know what that comment was in the Discord there for Colton Manich, but he typed 30. We'll have to wait and see, what that was. But nonetheless, man, good battling, good fun here. I'm trying to find potentially our standings for any team standings or anything else. I have not seen an area for that, so I'm not 100% sure. Have not seen anywhere for that, so that's unfortunate, but nonetheless, still battling, still duking it out here this evening for Tuisku, Killingbeck, Wayne Garland, James Garland, the Vanguard Sim Racing Team. 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the Speedway. Bromfield there in that 5th position with Evan Fuqua, Michael Wolf, Edward Belair, Nicholas Barton, Anthony Garland, and Jamison Heath rounding out our top 11 here on the Speedway. Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger, Casey Gross, and Joshua Benton rounding out our top 15 out there on the Speedway. Now, unfortunately for Manich, he's back out there, but he is really close to going another lap down. That's going to make his day that much longer for that 0-0 ride. And you do see CJ Jeffries, unfortunately, still down and out of this race. Unfortunately, only ran the 30 laps here this evening. And for Manich, unfortunately, losing connection there, having that packet upload loss and getting yeeted from the server, the 0-0, will lose another lap as there goes our race leaders, and he now finds himself only about 8 laps down. So 8 laps down now for the 0-0 ride. I mean, I feel like that's going to be really, really tough to battle back from. He's going to have to get a lot of waiver rounds, a lot of lucky dogs, and try to get himself back into the action, but I'm not sure if he is going to be able to do that here this evening. That is a large chunk of laps to gain back out there on the racetrack. And this is a hard track to find, a lot of yellow flags at. There's definitely a few big ones, but not a lot of small ones. And here with how many drivers we got in the series, one big one could be all that we see here for, major issues or major yellows on the afternoon. So we'll have to wait and see if there is enough yellows, if there is an opportunity for Manich to try to get back into the action here. Same with Bromfield and Casey Gross. Now, we know for both of these two that, they're only, I think Casey's the only one lap down after Bromfield had made that additional pit stop back on lap 71. He is now 2 laps down, so we'll see how this all plays out. But here we go. We see the Vanguard Sim Racing Team hit pit lane, and unfortunately here, this is something you could not have. This is something you could not do. Let's throw it back. Let's take a look here at the entry. And I believe what we're going to see is the 70 ride here of Mike Killingbeck and the 84 of Wayne Garland. Both get in here way too fast. And both drivers earn themselves black flags. So both drivers will get a hold, a penalty down pit lane here. And that is going to set them back a ton as their teammates Rob Tuisku and James Garland are able to get rolling here. There's Tuisku, there's Garland. Well, unfortunately for Wayne Garland, he's still down his pit side. Same with Mike Killingbeck. But now here we go. We see the second wave of drivers hit pit lane. And this time it's Evan Fuqua. Fuqua with the black flag. Too fast entering pit road for the 75 ride. And for Evan Fuqua, he will now get a black flag penalty. He will have to serve down pit side here this evening. So a tough break there for Fuqua as well this afternoon. And some of these drivers getting a splash of gas and going. And for the 76, he's going to have to stay out there for I think it's probably about a 30-second, maybe a 45-second hold here for that number 75 ride. But you do see Anthony Garland, Bromfield, all these drivers starting to roll back out on the speedway now for Corey Crowell and that 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger. They're sticking with it. They're still rolling out here, yet to hit pit road, but we should probably see them soon. But looks like they're going to continue to lead the charge, continue to lead the way here in this one. So we'll have to wait and see when they finally decide to hit pit lane. This is going to be fun, though. It's going to be fun to see where everyone kind of slides back into, how it all lines back up. I mean, the Vanguard Sim Racing team looked to be in the best position, but now things have gotten a lot more busted open, and we look at, drivers like Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, even Nicholas Barton here, that could be potentially, our first, second, and third place driver once things kind of cycle back around. Now, 4 seconds back behind these guys, you do see Rob Tuwisku, James Garland, Jamison Heath, and that 10 rider Michael Wolf, all right there together. But then Edward Belair a little farther back, same with Casey Gross in the 77. Wayne Garland, unfortunately, a couple laps down now as well, so he's going to need to look for a waiver round or something to try to get him back into the action. Same with Killingbeck, Fuqua, and Joshua Benton. So a lot of these drivers just trying to, keep themselves in this race, and with very minimal yellow flags and a lot of laps being laid down now, green flag pit stops and just mistakes down pit side from a few of these drivers may trap them a lap down here this evening, especially if it stays, clean and green, other than our stage break here coming up in just a little bit, because we're inching closer and closer to that halfway marker here. It's getting closer to lap 100 here this evening. For Corey Crowell, he continues to lead the charge, though. Crowell out in front with Brandon Puffenbarger right there on his back bumper. Teammates rolling right now, first and second, leading their first laps of this race here in our championship night with the Outcast Racing League here at Daytona International Speedway. Now looks like they may pick up their third teammate here. Colton Manich just in front of them, a little bit more off the pace here. Looks like he's going to kind of try to get lined back up with them, try to help out his teammates out there on the speedway. But they're going to be starting to plan a potential green flag pit stop here sooner rather than later, unless if they were able to save an enormous amount of fuel throughout this first run and falling that far back that, maybe it works, entirely into their favor, into their, pockets here this afternoon and into their strategy. They may lock into it. It's going to take a lot of luck. It's going to take a lot of strategy, and it's going to take something special to happen, not only to try to steal a win away fuel mileage wise or tire mileage, tire wear. It's all going to play a factor. It's all going to be a wild finish, I think. And last year I think it was kind of like the same thing. We saw these guys really calm, collected throughout the first couple stages. The third stage, I think we saw a couple early yellows, but then it went clean and green for a long time. And we saw kind of, almost the same thing. A 3-car, 7-car kind of pack kind of break away from the rest of the field. And they kind of could have worked it out amongst each other. Unfortunately, there was contact and issues, and the yellow flag came out. Drivers got tied together, and then all of a sudden it was somebody from a little deeper in the field that kind of came up there and ended up stealing the win away and stealing the championship away. So you got to be easy out there on the racetrack. You do not want to bring these yellow flags out, and having this chaos throughout the closing laps kind of potentially steal a golden opportunity from you out there on the speedway. It's Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger. 1 and 2 still have to come down pit road, I believe, throughout this stage. For Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Nicholas Barton, Rob Tuwisku, James Garland, Jamison Heath, and Michael Wolf. All still on the lead lap, all still in a good position out there on the speedway. Now, some of them have fallen a little farther back, some of them a little farther forward. As you take a look here at the Vanguard rides of Rob Tuwisku and James Garland, they find themselves still about 3.5, 4 seconds back of Nicholas Barton, Anthony Garland out there on the speedway, and that 12 rider Josh Bromfield all kind of have a bit of the advantage right now here on the racetrack. They're hoping that it works perfectly for them, as we did see Evan Fuqua go a lap down out there on the racetrack. I believe we also saw Edward Belair, Casey Gross. A few of these drivers still a lap down, some of them not a lap down, but for right now, until we see Crowell and that 5-rider, Brandon Puffenbarger, hit pit lane, it could trap drivers like Casey Gross, Belair, Wayne Garland, Killingbeck, who had those pit road mistakes a lap down out there on the Speedway. Evan Fuqua, Joshua Benton managed as well. Hope just to have a good solid run, good solid day here today. And unfortunately, this guy is stuck back there deeper in the field and not in a great position here. So we'll have to wait and see what Benton and what Manich can do throughout this race if they can get some lucky dogs and get themselves back into the battle. But out in front, I mean, what's Corey Crowell and Brandon Puffenbarger to do here? I mean, this time, across the line, they're going to click off lap number 89. Do they have 11 more laps worth of fuel here? Can they make it 48 laps since they were down pit road to make these second stage work into their favor? I think 48 is going to be really, really tough number to hit, but it may work into their favor. We'll have to wait and see. And I mean, they're getting a little bit of help here from some of that lap traffic with Casey Gross and Edward Belair being right there as well. That's going to really helping those guys a little bit more, save a little bit more fuel, having that extra bit of draft back there on their back bumper, kind of pushing them along as they're trying to roll out the throttle, and having their teammate, the 0-0, right there in front of them as well. That'll help them out a little bit more. And all about that strategy game plan, man, and the stage breaks really kind of break up that strategy call, really makes things that much more interesting here throughout the final half of this race, and especially with stage breaks. It's gonna be fun to see, how quickly the intensity level kind of ramps up. Who's gonna try to make something happen and find those fireworks and find victory lane here today. But for Crowell, Puffenbarger, for what looked to be kind of a bad position there for a while, if they can make it on fuel, it could be genius for them to really put them into a great spot here for the final stage of the day and kind of keep themselves on the lead lap and in the hunt here at the front. And obviously, if they do have to make a late stage pit stop, it could hurt them a lot more. It's, oh, look out back behind them. There goes the 25 ride and the 69. Oh, man, Benton just cannot keep himself out of the craziness here this evening. Let's take a look back at it. Let's see what happens. As, again, I got a sneaky suspicion. Maybe something we've already seen a couple times here this evening. I'm not a premonition kind of person, but kind of the same thing maybe here. Let's take a look. So Benton's on the high side, 25's down low, door to door, down through corner number 3 and 4. Not sure if 25 comes up or if the 69 ride comes down. We'll take a look at it, and it looks like maybe it's number 25 moving up the racetrack there just ever so slightly. Not sure if it's just netcode being around the 69 ride or if it's something else that's happening here, but take a look. Exits the corner, gets down towards the apron, draws closer to the double yellow, but then moves up the track there. Not a lot, though, man. That is not a lot of turn up, but obviously it was enough. Make something happen right here on corner exit. Just that couple inches up, and the 69 ride was already there. They get tied together. They both end up hard contact into that outside fence. Absolutely shreds the both drivers apart here, man. That was a big, big hit for both cats. And that one, unfortunately, could really hurt Joshua Benton if he has not used or if he's already used his quick repair on the day. He may be parked down pit road here for a very extended period of time. As he's already towed it down there, he's going to lose more laps out there on the racetrack. And we do see some different pit strategy here. So it looks like Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger, Jameson Heath all going to hit pit lane here. Everyone else stays out, though. But we did see Casey Gross. Another black flag, so we'll have to wait and see what that black flag is for. And if Casey can try to get it back and try to get himself back into the action here this evening as well, as this black flag is going to really hurt his chances here this evening as well. But the second group, our race leaders tend to want to come down pit road as our second stage of the day, man. It's almost over. Our second stage almost coming to a close here this evening with Josh Bromfield being scored as our race leader. Anthony Garland, Nicholas Barton, Rob Tuwisku, James Garland, Michael Wolf, Corey Crowell's back in 7th with Jameson Heath. Brandon Puffenbarger, our top 9. Our 10th place driver here, Casey Gross, I believe it got the lucky dog. The free pass back on the lead lap for the Quantum Motorsports 77 ride. Unfortunately, that's going to keep Edward Belair, Evan Fuqua, Wayne Garland, Mike Killingback, and Joshua Benton all still, down a lot of laps out there on the racetrack and still battling out there, though. And you do see Manage still out there. So maybe he can leapfrog the 69 ride. Obviously going to need a lot more caution flags. And CJ Jeffrey's already down and out here as well. We did see Casey hit pit road. So he's going to make a pit stop after getting that lucky dog. And we'll now have 10 drivers that are on the lead lap. Actually, I think potentially 11 here because Edward Belair should get the wave around. So he should get the wave. He should get back on the lead lap here himself. So that's a great break there for the 25 right of Edward Belair. Evan Fuqua back there as well. He's going to need a lucky dog or some sort of magic to try to work his way back on the lead lap. Same with Wayne Garland and Mike Killingback, who's battling for this championship. Not a spot you want to be midway through this race. A lap down and kind of stuck back there in traffic. We'll see if Killingback can get lucky. A quick yellow flag and get himself right back into the battle, right back into the action on the lead lap here this evening. But I'm ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to get after it, ready to get back to work here. Is this going to be a short run? I believe our stage is still going to close here at the completion of lap 100. So this could be fun. Should be a 5-lap shootout here to the end of the stage. Now, team points could be a must for a lot of these drivers to either extend their team points lead or, trying to just, keep up with the battle and keep yourself, relevant out there on the racetrack to trying to win this race or trying to make some moves. We'll have to wait and see who's going to stand out, see who tries to slice and dice their way forward there, who may be aggressive, who may sit back. I think for a lot of the drivers that are a lap down, I think they may hang out a little deeper here and hope that, the next caution in the next, stage, more and more of these drivers hit pit road and allow them to get another, lucky dog or another free pass or wave around to get back into the action. But nonetheless, here we go. Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland. It is the Poor Boy Motorsports team now sitting 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack, ready for this restart and hoping to try to keep the rest of these drivers back there behind them as in and out of the Daytona corner number 4. The official iRacing pace car will make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side here this evening for Anthony Garland, Josh Bromfield. Back at it here at Daytona. Green flag back into the air. Huge launch, huge jump right there for that number 12 ride, and you should quickly see, there it is. Okay, Anthony quickly falls right in behind him onto his back bumper. Now they are going to work together to try to push one another out in front of the field and away from the rest of this pack, as we should see maybe some of these Vanguard Racing rides maybe being a little bit more aggressive here. When you look back at Rob Tuwisku in the number 1, the 37 of James Garland. Obviously, they've lost their teammates, but they want to work their way back out in front of the field here. Obviously, they had 2 more cats in the same Vanguard Sim Racing team here, then potentially they could just slice and dice their way up there, and it looks like maybe for a couple of our playoff drivers, they are definitely trying to work their way out in front. As you take a look back there, 4th in line in the outside groove, that is the number 84, Wayne Garland. He's got Killingback right there with him. Both drivers currently a lap down out there on the Speedway. I believe, for the end of the stage, probably going to be, well, it could potentially be Wayne Garland here. Getting that lucky dog back into the action. Same with Mike Killingback here. He's trying to get back into the battle here as well. But for right now, outside lane prevails. That's They're going to push. Oh, hang on to it. Oh, no, that was close. Oh, there it is. There they go. Caution flag back out. This time it's Wayne Garland and Mike Killingback tied together, and the number 25 of Edward Belair could not get checked up in time. He slides in there, ends up making huge contact there with him, but this starts down the back straightaway. A couple blocks, a couple big moves. You're going to see, I believe it's James Garland right here. James just jumps to the inside here. I'm not sure if he was trying to split his teammate or if he was trying to figure something out, but unfortunately, as that kind of happens, see if we can another look at it. Where's James Garland here? There's James. All right, so right here, James kind of shoots down to the inside. Now, I don't know if maybe his teammate was supposed to go with him, if that was the game plan. Nonetheless, they enter into the corner. Both are on the outside groove, and then all of a sudden, 37 just shoots down to the inside. The one right tried to go with him, couldn't quite get there. And as he comes down across the nose of the 37. And then from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. Everyone else trying to get checked up. Everyone else trying to avoid the carnage here. And unfortunately for Anthony Garland, finally gets tagged there by the 22. Shoots him up the racetrack into the lap there of that 84 rider Wayne Garland. And from that point on, Wayne was just kind of a bit of a pinball out there as Wayne up against the outside fence, the 84 and the 70 ride teammates here for the Vanguard Sim Racing team. And as they start to slide back down the racetrack and towards the apron like you tend to do here, this is where we're going to see right there, man, Edward Belair sends it in there. Rapid pace right there for the number 70 ride. Let's see if we can jump on board here with the number 25, Edward Belair. See what he can see here from the cockpit. So, the number 25 ride, you head down through corner number 3 and 4, and right here, you're seeing that action. You're seeing the craziness, and he starts to slow down, but never gets checked up in time, and unfortunately drives right through the back end of that number. Dang, I'm drawing a blank now. The number 84, and obviously for a couple of these other drivers with big damage here, he just doesn't get checked up and drives right through Wayne, and I believe gets a big piece here as well of the 70 of Killing back there. You see Casey Groves having to get down low to avoid it. He locks it down, comes to a stop there. That's going to burn up some tires there for him, but then we see the 25 ends up towing it down pit road here, so he's going to be down there for a bit of an extended period of time, and that kind of shuffles up the whole field as Rob Tuwiscu, though, still out in front. Tuwiscu's got the race lead. Jamison Heath in second. James Garland scored back in third with Michael Wolf, Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger, Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Nicholas Barton, and Casey Groves rounding out our top 10 here in this stage. And we'll see when the official stage comes to a close, as I believe there's only a couple laps left to go here for the end of the stage. And I don't feel like they're going to get the race restarted. With only one lap left to go in the stage. So we'll have to see how that gets played out. But here we go. We'll see more drivers hit pit road. Okay, big strategy calls right here as we see Bromfield, Anthony Garland, and Nicholas Barton all hook a hard left-hand turn down pit lane here. All right. Some more drivers getting into it. More drivers getting into the action here. Unfortunately there with that yellow flag. Killing back Wayne Garland, Edward Belair. All still stay a lap down out there on the racetrack. I believe for Edward does finally fall a lap down for the number 25 ride, but he has taken that thing right down pit side, and he sat there for a little while, and if he's not careful, could potentially go multiple laps down out there on the racetrack here, and that is not a fun spot to be, going multiple laps down and just kind of taking yourself out of any chance to have a good finish here in our season finale. So we'll see kind of what's up here for a couple of these drivers, but nonetheless, some great moves, some great battles, and our second stage is virtually come to a close here. I believe they are going to call it here during this one. I don't think this is going to be a one-lap shootout. I believe they are going to probably extend this yellow flag as the lights are off the official iRacing pace car, at least from this side of the pace car, but not sure what's going on there. Lights are off, they're single file, so maybe they're just going to do a single file shootout for one lap. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy if that is the case, or if they're just going to give everyone a little bit of an early stage here with where that caution kind of lined up and how it lined up out there on the speedway. Could help you, could hurt you. We'll have to wait and see because pace car, no lights on, should be making a hard left-hand turn. Back down pit side, we should be going back green flag racing, but going to be a single lap shootout. And there it is. Okay, pace car does shoot down to the infield. And off the racing surface, and for the one rider, Rob Tuisku, he sees the green flag fly, and this is going to be a one-lap shootout here for our second stage of the day. Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay, so Tuisku with a big launch, big jump right there, but now has to try to hold off Jameson Heath, James Garland, so many other fast cats out there on the racetrack. And you see Heath and James Garland come with a big head of steam. Pushes the 71 up enough that he's able to get to the outside there of Rob Tuisku, but the 67 says, all right, I'm not going to push you the rest of the way. I'm going to hit my teammate's back bumper, and I'm going to try to push Tuisku into the victory here in stage number 2, and that's exactly what they've done. Is Rob Tuisku nice and easy back down into the tri-oval. The 71 rider Heath tries to jump to the outside, tries to find that extra spot, can't quite get there, as it's Rob Tuisku who picks up our second stage win of the day. James Garland comes home in second, Jameson Heath back in third, Michael Wolf, Corey Crowell, Brandon Buffenbarger, Casey Gross, Evan Fuqua, Josh Bromfield, and Anthony Garland, going to round out our top 10 out there on the speedway in that stage. I mean, heck of a run for Tuisku and James Garland. I mean, Heath was right there. We saw all of those drivers and, the whole team kind of lined up for a while there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Unfortunately, things started to fall apart a little bit more towards the end, but they still get it done. They still get the stage win. That's big for them and their program and trying to win the team championship. So keep an eye on it. But for right now, everyone's going to have to make another decision. You come down pit road. For some, maybe it's too soon. For others, you got ample amount of opportunities here to try to make some different strategy calls. This could be one of them. Try to set yourself up for a little later down the road that it works in your favor to try and win this championship here later on here this evening. As we still got a lot of laps left, still a lot of racing left to go here in this one. As 101 laps have been completed, we'll get ready to set them back loose. We'll get ready to go back to battle in just a couple more moments. We'll get a quick word in here from our amazing sponsors over at RT3 Design.
Check, 1, 2, radio check. Still.
Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life.
Alrighty, as the yellow flag is about to head away here after our second stage of the day comes to a close, we inch closer here to figuring out who our race winner and who our champion will be here in Season 11 of the Outcast Racing League. As out of the pits, it's Jamison Heath now in control as he's got that top spot out there on the Speedway after these pit stops. So Heath will be in control here for this restart. Anthony Garland parked there in second, with Josh Bromfield there in position number 3. Rob Tuisku's back in fourth with James Garland there in fifth. Michael Wolf, Evan Fuqua, the number 22, and Nicholas Barton. Casey Crowell, Casey Gross, Mike Killingbeck, Brandon Puffenbarger, Wayne Garland, our top 13. I believe for Wayne here, he's looking for the free pass as he was not in lucky dog position. I believe that went to Mike Killingbeck, but for Wayne Garland, looking for the wave right here. Looks like he is going to get it, so won't Joshua Benton. Colton Manage as well going to take that wave. You do see the number 25 of Edward Belair also going to take the wave around here, trying to work their way back a little closer to the lead lap here this evening. So great break for some. Definitely going to make things, still a longer night for a lot of these other drivers. I believe for Wayne, this does put him back on the lead lap. So that's a great break there for Wayne Garland. For Edward Belair, looks like he still scored as a lap down out there on the Speedway. So that's a heartbreaker there for Edward. Joshua Benton still multiple laps down as well in that 69 run. As here he comes down pit lane for Colton Manage. He also multiple laps down out there on the Speedway. So tough break for some of them. And now things have gotten even worse for Joshua Benton. He receives a black flag here down pit road. We'll have to wait and see what the punishment may be for that. I'm not sure if it's going to be a hold down pit side under the yellow or if he's just going to start the tail end of the field anyways. I think he was already going to start back there, so I don't think it's going to be, it's going to kind of be no harm, no foul right there. So we'll have to see how that plays out for Joshua Benton here this afternoon. But right now, he's stuck back in that 15th position already. One lap down, maybe 2 laps down out there for Joshua Benton. I believe 2 laps down, so he's got to try to battle back. He's got to try to put himself back into the action here this evening, and it's going to take a little while. He's going to have to bank on some caution flags and some good luck to go his way to get him into the battle. As here we go, getting ready to get back after it, ready to get rolling here once again. Driver's going to get stacked up, racked up, and single file restart here again. It's our final stage is underway. Our final stage finally gets started. Green flag back out into the air as they completed lap 104. It's 96 laps of racing action left to go here from Daytona International Speedway. As we get back to battle, let's crank it up here with the Outcast Racing League. Alrighty, a beautiful crank it up here this evening from Daytona International Speedways. These drivers doing a fantastic job, giving us the great sights and sounds here at the Great American Race here, the Outcast Racing League, Daytona 500, 500 miles, 200 laps of racing action here from Daytona International Speedway. And for each and every one of these drivers, man, it has been some very good, fantastic racing action right from the drop of the green flag down to this point as they head nice and easy through corner number 3 and 4, back through that tri-oval. It's Mike Killingbeck in the 70 ride who's our race leader down across the line, completing lap number 120 as we are now 60% of the way through this race. 60% down and only 40% left to go, but we do see the caution flag come out. Yellow flag is displayed. I do believe we do see one driver down pit road right here. The 25 ride of Edward Belair still down pit side, but we see one driver turned around and heavily damaged. It is the number 2 of Corey Crowell. Crowell tore up and looks like he's a part of our caution flag. So the yellow flag will come back out, and it looks like, oh man, 69 rides right around it again. Oh man, I don't know if it's just been a magnet this afternoon. What's been going on here? It seems like every yellow flag, it's been Joshua Benton who was like right in it. I don't know if it's the 69 just having a magnet on it with net code and it's just been messing with all these other drivers or what's been going on, but here we go, out of the tri-oval. 2 rides kind of following in line. The 69 ride's right there to his outside, and it just kind of hooks him right here. I don't. Looks like the 69 maybe coming down again. Just, I don't know if he's trying to side draft or what the game plan is, but obviously it's been kind of a rough thing a lot here this afternoon, and Ben just can't keep himself out of the carnage. I think it's just a magnet. Yeah, right there. I don't know. He just gets kind of loose coming out of the tri-oval and it just kind of takes off on him again. 2 comes up just a bit like everyone else does, not really on the double yellow line. Oh, man, just a tough hit right there. Tough break, tough hit for that 2 car. But, I mean, Benton's just been all around it here tonight, man. It's been a rough night for the 69 ride. As it's another big hit right there. Another big hit. Another tough run in right there for the 69. Let's see if we can jump on board with the 69. Kind of see what the hands are doing here. So the wheel doesn't really turn to the left. That's the big thing right there. Straight. I think it's just the rear end stepping out on him. You can see him trying to crank it to the right a little bit because you can kind of feel that rear end wanting to step out right there. And it's just been one of those things that it's just been kind of doing that all night long. And unfortunately, another car, another victim out there for the 69 ride as I believe that is yellow flag number 3 or 4 now for incident. And he's been around pretty much every one of them. We can go back through some of these other ones here. That was the caution for the stage break. This caution, I think, was in front of him, potentially. Yeah, this was the one up ahead of him here with Wayne Garland. So he wasn't in this one. I don't think. He was close to getting into it, but luckily enough, he was able to avoid it there. That was that lead pack accident. Take a look back at this one. I believe this is the one that he was in. So this is number 2. Crispy says, what did I miss? And Josh says, park him, he says. Let's take a look here at this one. Yeah, again, just, I don't know if it's net code or what it is. One driver kind of coming up, the other driver kind of coming down, and they just get tied together. And unfortunately, seems like all night long it's been Joshua Benton as that one driver that's kind of being collected in all of these, man. He just hasn't had any luck at all here this evening. Let's see if we can get another look at it, see if we get another chance to see here. Going back again. Here we go. So this one wasn't Benton either. This one was back behind him too. Or I think that's for the stage. That was for the stage. Caution. This one's Jameson Heath. Ah, there's the other one. We knew there was another one missing. Highlight reel of, unfortunately here, of Joshua Benton and just being kind of got a little bit more of the bat and not the ball out there on the racetrack. That is definitely a bit of a crazy one here this afternoon for him. There was one that didn't throw a caution. Right, there was one that didn't throw a caution as well. You're right. I'd have to try to find that. That was with Casey Gross, I believe, was it not? I believe that one was with Casey. Yeah, there was another issue there as well. I mean, just tough break, tough look there for Josh. I mean, just I don't know, man. He's got that silver cart. It seems like it's been a magnet all evening long for him, and it's been tough to avoid any of the carnage. And always just kind of like wrong place, wrong time sort of deal for the number 69 ride. And unfortunately, that's had him kind of set back deeper in the field. I mean, he couldn't manage. Unfortunately, having internet connection issues, getting dropped through packet loss earlier. You know, he's still multiple laps down here, hoping to get more wave rounds, more lucky dogs, more chances to get back into the battle here. His teammate Corey Crowell now, after getting tore up, had to use that quick repair. The car is fixed back up, but I believe down pit road he had earned a black flag, so I believe he's going to have to make a green flag pit stop here and serve that penalty, which could in turn probably cost him a lap out there on the racetrack. As here we go, back to battle here. 124 laps down, 76 laps left to go here in this one. So even though you may have been tied up, you may have gotten tore up out there on the speedway and having issues, you just got to stick with it. Keep yourself into it as packet loss. Wow, what a way to lose the championship. Yeah, definitely heartbreaker there for Colton Manich. I feel like that happened to him a couple years ago as well. I feel like he was in that Championship 8 race and had packet loss or some sort of an issue, internet outage or something. That's always got a bit of theme here. Whenever we come to these championship races, there's always that, you know, one or two, maybe even the odd time 3 or 4 drivers that just have an issue, you know, whether it's packet loss or their internet going out, or if it's, you know, power going out or something happens, PC issues that tend to, you know, eliminate more of our playoff drivers than the chaos out on the racetrack itself. But here we go, big restart and great restart as Fuqua sticking right there with Killing back in the Vanguard Sim Racing team, as it's been Vanguard pretty much all day long. They've been able to win our stages. They've been at the front of the field, leading the most laps throughout this race. And now you see Killing back kind of goes a little high right there, and all of a sudden you see Tuisku shove his nose down into the middle. He's looking to make the move, and now, oh, look out, there goes James Garland talking about netcode. There's a little netcode for you. Woo, doggy, that was a tough one for James Garland, and no caution flag. It stays clean and green, and that car is absolutely tore apart. But you see them go 3 wide. He's in the middle. Killingbeck's there on the outside, the 37's in the middle, and I just, maybe he gets a little helping hand from the 22 ride right here. Yeah, okay, there it is. So there's a little contact beforehand. See how close that was. It looked from that first angle like they were far away, but looked like that gap had probably closed up quite a bit here. And unfortunately for James Garland, let's see, there's a little closer look. Killingbeck to his outside, 22 right of Barton right there, kind of comes up the track through the middle of the corner and into that left rear quarter panel. Unfortunately gets him sideways, and as he's trying to save it and correct it, the car takes off, slides back up the speedway, hard hit up into that outside fence. Big hit there for James Garland. Man, that is definitely going to hurt his chances here this evening, and that hurts the entire Vanguard team as they lose another good driver out there on the speedway, and that's tough, man. That is definitely a tough break there for that 37 ride, but I believe he's still going to down pit road and has gotten the quick repair. No, still rolling. Still rolling, has not gotten the quick repair, so got to wonder how difficult it is to keep this thing pointing in the right direction right now. Obviously, just trying to stay on the lead lap and hoping that he can keep himself in the battle. But his teammates battled their way back to the front here, so they're able to survive the chaos. And Tuisku finds himself out in front. Killingback's right there in second. You do see that 0-0 battling his way back up here towards the front of the field. For Colton Manich, he's trying to do exactly what he did in the last run, and that is see at the front of the pack here. Try to get a lap back. Just race his way another lap at a time back into the battle out there on the Speedway. Still not in the lucky dog position, so he needs to get out there, get in front, see caution flags fly back behind him, and be in position to, you know, virtually get a lap back, just racing his way into it here like he did during the last yellow flag. And that's exactly what he's trying to do right here, as he wants to try to work his way in front of the Vanguard rides and put himself back to the point here and kind of lead the charge, but just from a couple laps down. As of right now, I believe he is still 4 laps down out there on the Speedway. But if he can work his way in front of these guys, he'd only be 3 laps down and slightly back into the battle. Now, Casey Gross has gotten back on a lead lap. He's back into the hunt here. You see a little door slam right there. The 76 of Evan Fuqua and Anthony Garland, door to door, beating and banging down and out of corner number 4, as Chris Muse says, just seemed like James got nervous with Mike on his outside, and James comes down into the 22. I mean, I don't know if I would have saw it that way. I don't think I quite saw that. I don't know how far back we got to go to find that here. Where in the world James Garland run into that issue? Of course, it doesn't show that there was a crash or anything else there for it. He would have lost a lot of positions in a quick hurry. That's the big thing. That was for 6. 6. All right, would have been right around here. All right, so let's take a look back at it. So I don't know if the 37 came down or if the 22 kind of came up. It's so hard to get a good angle. I don't know why iRacing does that here at Daytona, where they have them like a little off center. They don't really have them right on the back of these cars. And one coming up, one coming down. Tight racing, 3 wide. I mean, it happens. It happens. Tough break nonetheless. Hard hits, hard issues, and definitely going to be hard to battle back this late in the race. But out in front, it's the Vanguard team once again, still holding down the top spots. 1 and 2 now for the Vanguard team, as Tuisku and Killingback sit in the top 2 positions. Bromfield up and into position number 3 now as the Poor Boy Motorsports start to work their way into the battle here at the front of the field, as Bromfield and Anthony Garland roll there in 3rd and 4th. They got Evan Fuqua back there in that 5th position with the Quantum Motorsports. Number 77 to Casey Gross there in 6th. Michael Wolf back in 7th. And Nicholas Barton rounding out our top 8, as a bit of a gap here between our top 8 drivers and that second pack. It's about 2 seconds here where you do see this gap, and you see the HendrickCars.com number 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger rolls there in that 9th position. He's got Corey Crowell, his teammate, there with him in position number 10. Jamison Heath there in 11th. Wayne Garland, the Vanguard Sim Racing number 12 ride, or number 84 ride, in that 12th position. James Garland, unfortunately, out of the draft, has that damage on this race car. Hoping to see a caution flag here. Probably going to lose a lap here sooner rather than later, as our race leaders are not too far away from him as he exits corner number 2 right there and heads down the back straightaway. You see our race leaders chasing him down, and they will be there in a quick hurry, at least probably in the next lap or 2. They should be able to put James Garland a lap down out there on the Speedway. For Joshua Benton, Benton is the first driver, still a lap down or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. So I think for James Garland, he's kind of sitting in a good spot here, because I think Benton is 3 laps down. And if Benton's 3 laps down, James will be the only driver 1 lap down. He will still be in that free pass position, the lucky dog spot. So if the damage is A-okay, the car's still rolling fine, it's not overheating, you're not going to blow it up or put yourself into an awful position, just keep on rolling here. See if you can try to get in line behind Nicholas Barton and kind of keep yourself with this lead pack and stay in the battle here for as long as you can and hope for another yellow flag and hope for an opportunity to hit pit road, get the repairs you need, and get this 37 ride back into the action, especially after getting the lucky dog. And only going 1 lap down is going to be massive here for that 37 ride to keep himself in the battle here this evening. Now that's going to hurt drivers like Joshua Benton even more. Unfortunately now for Josh, that is going to take him into the lucky dog position. So, I mean, he would need a few yellow flags to get back into the battle, especially ones that he's not a part of. And for the 69 ride, Joshua Benton, I mean, obviously, now with James Garland in line for the next lucky dog, is going to need at least 1 more yellow flag to get himself back into the battle. For Colton Manich, he's just going to have to try to keep on racing his way towards the front here. He is still 4 laps down, and I mean, if he can jump in front of the Vanguard rides right here and kind of sit in front of them, and before another yellow flag does get displayed, if he stays right here, he will stay trapped. I mean, what, 5 laps down, 4 laps down out there on the racetrack, and will not be in line for the lucky dog. But if he can work his way in front of these guys, could put him into a good spot. And now seeing some of his teammates try to battle back up through the field here. That second group has turned up the wick, and they've chased them down. As here comes that 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger looking to chase his way to the front. Same with Corey Crowell. They may pick up their Middle Finger Motorsports teammate, that 0-0 Colton Manich, and try to push him out in front to where he can gain a lap back. At least then he would only be 3 laps down. You know, he wouldn't be in line for the lucky dog until he passes, Joshua Benton, especially if there's a yellow flag. And if James Garland can stay 1 lap down, then they would probably need another 2 or 3 more yellows to get Colton back into the battle. But, oh, look out! Contact between teammates. Oh, no, they're going to take each other out. 2 of our championship competitors. Oh, man, that is a heartbreaker down and out of corner number 4. The Middle Finger Motorsports team already losing Colton Manich kind of out of this race with, losing internet connect or getting kicked out from packet loss earlier on this evening and falling multiple laps down. Now he's battled back into it, but his teammates, Brandon Puffenbarger, Corey Crowell, battling right here, and it looks like Crowell just all over the back bumper, pushing out of corner number 4. The 5 gets loose, washes down into the outside fence right there. There's a big hit for him, and then he comes back off the fence, collects the 2 ride as now Corey Crowell gets up into the outside wall there. Big hit for Corey as well. Everyone else doing a fantastic job down on the apron, trying to avoid the chaos and trying to keep themselves out of any of the carnage there. Luckily enough for both Corey Crowell and for Puffenbarger, they're able to keep their cars pointing the right direction, but major right front contact for both of them. Major damage there for both drivers, and you see Puffenbarger, he's taking his ride right down pit side, looking to get service done to it. Looks like he will use that quick repair, get some tires put onto it as well, and get rolling back out there on the speedway. Now, unfortunately, that may put him a lap down, but he may not be too far off here of green flag pit stops. I think they were kind of roughly around, 20 laps, maybe a little less than that. I guess everyone was down pit road around lap 122. So, I mean, really, they're still probably 10, 15 laps away from green flag pit stops. So this could definitely put them into a tough position out there on the speedway. Obviously, now losing a lap and kind of falling into what is currently the lucky dog position. He might be able to get out if he can catch the draft right here of this group. He could battle with that 37 of James Garland for the lucky dog spot, but I don't know if Puffenbarger will be able to carry the speed, the momentum down the back straightaway. I don't think he will, and he's going to be a lone duck here at the back of the second pack once again, and unfortunately for Puffenbarger, that could definitely wind up after 10-15 laps, potentially putting him another lap down without any drafting help out there on the Speedway. And he's no longer in the free pass spot either, as James Garland was able to get around him. So James doing exactly what he needs to do, and just keeping these guys back behind him, keeping himself in that lucky dog spot, and just keeping this Vanguard ride alive, hoping for a yellow flag that he's not a part of, so that way he can get the lucky dog and get himself back into the battle here this evening, as his teammates are out in front. They're continuing to lead the charge here with Tuisku and Killingbeck 1 and 2. Managed there in third is multiple laps down. Bromfield is scored in that third position with Anthony Garland, Evan Fuqua in the 71 of Jameson Heath there in that sixth position. So our first 7 cars, only 6 of them on the lead lap, one of them multiple laps down, but now they also have a big gap once again kind of brewed up here between themselves and that second group. It's about 2.5 seconds back to the 77 of Casey Gross, the 69 rider who's multiple laps down there of Joshua Benton. You do see Michael Wolf there in 8th, Nicholas Barton back in 9th, Corey Crowell in position number 10. Now Crowell, even with that damage, is sticking with it here, not taking that thing down pit side. He's going to be trying to do virtually what the 37 rider James Garland's doing, and that's just trying to survive and wait patiently here for a caution. Wayne Garland right there in that 10th position. James Garland a little farther ahead of these guys. First car 1 lap down there in 12th. Brandon Puffenbarger also a lap down here back in 13th. And then Joshua Benton, Colton Manich out there on the Speedway. Edward Belair still down pit road here for Belair, unfortunately. I'm not sure if he's going to get back out into the action. I did hear that motor blow not too long ago down pit side, so I believe his day is going to be done. He's just enjoying the view from pit road there, enjoying this race with that car still down on pit lane. But for Belair, his night has come to a close. For CJ Jeffries, done after 30 laps. So we started with 17. We're down to 15 here, and obviously a few of these guys running into some issues here throughout this run with a couple big hits, man. A couple big hits and no caution flags. Really sticking a couple drivers, into very, very difficult positions, especially when you look at Puffenbarger, you look at Colton Manich. I mean, 2 of our championship competitors now very much behind the 8 ball here in this race. And as this race continues on and we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag, it's less and less likely, less and less chances that they may, get back into the battle, that they may get another shot at trying to win this race and win this championship here this evening. Everyone continues to hunt to the front here. Everyone's trying to put themselves into the winner's circle here this evening. Be fun, man. Obviously, for right now, Killingbeck in position number 2. He is the leader of our championship 8 this afternoon. But right behind him, Josh Bromfield and Anthony Garland. So 3 of our top 4 championship drivers here this evening, stacked right on top of one another out there on the Speedway. Evan Fuqua, a non-playoff driver, scored there in 5th. And then the 71 at Jameson Heath, another one of our championship hopefuls here this year. So we have 4 inside of our top 6 right now, all in this lead group, all in this lead pack. Technically, you could add another one in there with the 0-0 Colton Manich, but Manich being multiple laps down, it's going to be dang near impossible for him to battle back and back into contention here this evening for that championship, especially being 4 laps down, and there's really only about 55 laps left to go in this race. So unless if the wheels really starting to fall off of it, we really start to see more and more yellow flags throughout the final 55 laps. It's going to be super tough for Colton to try to battle his way back into the action here this evening. So we'll have to wait and see, because, obviously there's still a few of our other playoff drivers a little deeper back here in the field. When you look at Michael Wolf, you look at Corey Crowell, are they able to kind of get this second group back up there? Can they chase them down? And how does the green flag pit stops affect this race as well? That's going to be the big tell here. We already saw multiple issues down pit road for multiple drivers during some of our green flag pit stops earlier in this race. And when we have to start seeing these next wave of green flag stops, it could be a little bit more of the same. And for some drivers that may find themselves in a golden position, in a really good spot to maybe try to win this race, may take themselves out, may, eliminate their chances here themselves just down pit road by making a mistake hitting pit lane. I believe Killingbeck was one of those drivers that did earn a black flag early in this race. Now, since then, he has battled back and he's gotten himself back into the action. But for the 70 ride, you cannot have that mistake again. You cannot have another problem. Down pit road with, 50 laps left to go in this battle, you can't give it up that easy out there on the Speedway. For Bromfield, Anthony Garland, same case scenario for all of our other championship drivers here as well. But now the big question mark will be, this late in the race, I mean, you may have been working with other teams. They may have been, feeling okay to help you guys out or to help themselves out with pitting together or kind of keeping you in the loop on what the strategy call is going to be. And even some of the teammates that are battling for the championship amongst each other, you may get a little bit more quiet. You may start to keep a little bit more information to yourself here late in these races on what changes you may be making, what your game plan is when it comes to tires or no tires, or how much fuel you're putting into your race car, or just the changes that you make here down pit road. So it's going to be fun to see how everyone's going to be able to work together. As you do see the 69 ride here, Joshua Benton, he's going to pull off. Looks like he's going to hit pit road right here. And for that Poor Boy Motorsports 69 ride, he's going to come down pit road. We saw this before, kind of came down a little bit by his lonesome out there on the Speedway. So he does hit pit lane. He'll hit his stall. The crew will go to work. And for the Poor Boy Motorsports 69 ride, obviously not a spot he wants to be any longer here this evening than he's already been, as he spent a little bit of time down there, probably too much time for his liking. And hopefully a quick pit stop and rolling right back out there, as we do see him picking up that speed again, exiting pit road now, and hoping that, maybe this could help him out a little bit. I don't know how it will, but, maybe it'll just give him enough to stay in front of Colt Manich and, maybe stay in a spot where he can continue to battle for, waiver rounds or lucky dogs or anything that could work into his favor here in this race. But Rob Tuwisku out in front, continue to lead the charge. Vanguard Sim Racing Team has been fairly dominant here this evening, man. They have led a ton of laps. They have looked very, very good all evening long. And for Rob Tuwisku and Killingbeck, they've been hooked up here at the front of the pack, and they have that 0-0 Colton Manich, who's multiple laps down. They're in third, kind of playing as a bit of a blocker, a little bit of a stopper here of some of these other drivers, as it's given them a bit of a buffer here at the front of the field. As you do see the 69 rider Joshua Benton about to get past here. Here comes our race leaders down to the inside. They're going to go on by him, and I believe for Benton, he is going to lose another lap out there on the Speedway. Now, that's great news for Colton Manich, because that gains him a spot out there on the Speedway, but things are going to get a little tighter back here, a little deeper. But you do see Josh was able to find a hole right there between his teammates, so that kind of worked out nicely for them, as now all of a sudden Josh Bromfield right in the middle, that's Joshua Benton, right in the middle of his teammates, Josh Bromfield and Anthony Garland. So the Poor Boy Motorsports team now lined up here, 3 cars deep back there in that 4th, 5th position, and then with their lap down traffic teammate, the 69 ride there to help them out, try to get them moving here a little bit later in this race. So teamwork making the dream work here, even though his chances, his day kind of hasn't been exactly what he wanted or what they were hoping for Joshua Benton. He's going to try to make sure he can help his teammates out as much as he can late in this race. So fun to see what they can do here. You do see Evan Fuqua still back there in position number 5. Fuqua doing great job here. Great battle this afternoon. Casey Gross there with them. You do see that 10 ride of Michael Wolf, kind of one of the underdogs here in that Smoky Ridge Motorsports number 10 ride. Kind of a lot of his Smoky Ridge teammates, aren't really racing anymore in this series. We used to see a few of them, but some of them have changed different teams, and other ones have kind of stopped running. And unfortunately for the 10 of Michael Wolf, I mean, he's stuck with it. He's still battling. He's in this championship 8, but unfortunately, kind of, raw dogging it, lone wolfing it out there on the speedway, and we'll see if it can work out in his favor. Parking his 10 ride up as our champion here in Season 11 of the Outcast Racing League. Jameson Heath there in 8th, another one of our championship hopefuls. In position number 8 here on the speedway, Nicholas Barton. Wayne Garland's there in 10th. Corey Crowell, another championship competitor there in 11th. He does still have that right front damage on that car. James Garland still first driver, 1 lap down, and unfortunately now for Brandon Puffenbarger, we talked about how he had lost that draft coming out of the pits and had already lost a lap. Now he has lost a second lap, and for this 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger, that's tough, man. That's tough. And such a good run going. Great race brewing here for himself and his team. And then all of a sudden the contact, the bump drafting, the hard pushing and shoving from teammates as the 2 of Corey Crowell was all over his back bumper and unfortunately got loose out of 4, and he got up into the fence and then got into Corey. Corey was luckily enough able to stick with it, stay in it, still has that right front damage, but it's been a-okay. But now look out, there's more issues. Barton's running into problems. Oh brother, hang on to it, boys. Luckily enough, they're able to catch it and keep these things pointing in the right direction, as I believe this time you're going to see Wayne Garland maybe get in there a little bit too far underneath the 22 rod. Right there, makes contact with that left rear quarter panel. That dang near took him around. Luckily enough for Barton, he was able to save it, man. That was an incredible save, but obviously some pretty good damage to the front end of that 84 ride now. The 2 ride of Corey Crowell and Puffenbarger doing a great job not driving into that or making matters worse there as things start to fall apart there down through corner 3 and 4. But out in front, just working perfectly here this evening. Rob Tuwisku, Mike Killingbeck out in front. They'll head nice and easy back down at a corner number 4. Across the line here, they will complete lap 155. So 155 laps down, 45 more laps left to go here this evening from Daytona International Speedway. As Killingbeck and Tuwisku roll 1 and 2, Killingbeck currently sits in that championship position, the highest running championship driver out there on the speedway for the 70 ride, and Killingbeck hoping that can stay the same way for the rest of this race. I'm sure he would love to see that happen, as his teammate would win the race, he could win the championship. I feel like that'd be a picture perfect afternoon for Mike Killingbeck and the Vanguard Sim Racing team. Now for Josh Bromfield, he's hoping for a little something different as the 4-boy motorsports ride. Got a little lap car there in between them, but we'll have to wait and see. When they start to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to shoot that 0-0 ride of Colton Manage back down and deeper into the field to allow them to get after it and try to, seal this race lead from Tuwisku and Killingbeck out there on the speedway, as Anthony Garland's right there, as well as Randall Barton says, "Let's roll, Barton, let's roll." Man, that was a great save right there for Nicholas Barton, man. That was a crazy piece of contact, a crazy save down through corner 3 and 4, and I'm quite surprised that thing's still in one piece, man. That was that would have been game over, I think, for a lot of drivers. I think that probably would have had a lot of drivers on their lid or in the outside fence or something. Luckily enough for Barton, he's able to keep it rolling, keep it pointing in the right direction, and it will stay in the battle here this evening as Barton rolls there in 9th. Corey Crowell there in position number 10. Wayne Garland, unfortunately, who made that contact, rolls there in 11th now with the 5 ride of Puffenbarger back behind him. And right now, for Wayne Garland, he's the last driver on the lead lap, scored there in the 11th position. But for Rob Tuwisku and Mike Killingbeck, man, they're sitting pretty as we inch closer and closer to green flag pit stops. Now the big question mark will be is how far can you go and what is the number to where you're good to make it to the end of this race without having to make that additional pit stop later on. I think for a lot of these drivers that has got to be kind of something you're working on, kind of something that you're going to have the calculators rolling, hoping that you can hit that number, hoping that you can put yourself into that position where you don't have to make an additional pit stop late in this race. That is going to be a huge, huge thing for, I think, a lot of these drivers is, if you can make it 35 laps to a tank of fuel. We went back green flag racing roughly around lap, 124, somewhere around there. If you're able to save a little bit and make it 36 laps, I mean, you could probably get somewhere into, lap 160, maybe a little bit beyond. Hey, lap 170. If you can make the lap 170, I think you're good. I think you're making it the rest of this race, but that's a stretch here on fuel. I mean, if you can make it a little bit past 165, I think you're going to be good on fuel to get to the end of this race, but that's still going to be fairly close, I think, for a lot of these guys. I think fuel is going to be a hot commodity here real quick, as we went back green flag racing back on, lap 125. Okay, well, maybe they can make it. Back green flag racing on 125. Oh, man, it's going to be tough. I mean, 40 laps, you make it to 165. You're good to go there at that point. I think even getting to 160 should be a big number if you can make it 40 laps. As of right here, they've made it 35 laps since we went back to green flag racing. You kind of got to balance that out here. You need to make at least another 2.5, 3 laps to where, you can split this stage, this run, virtually in half if it stays clean and green. So I think that's a big number for a lot of these drivers, splitting that final run. Lap 125 to lap 200 right there in the middle is probably going to be somewhere roughly around that, 160-ish area, 163, 164, somewhere in there, make that final stop of the day. So we'll have to wait and see what that number is here, as we're ramping up here for these green flag stops in a quick hurry. As back down across the line, they'll complete lap 161. We should probably start to see some drivers coming down pit road here in the next handful of laps, and that could be make or break. These green flag pit stops could put you into the winning position. They could take you out of this race. You just got to be picture perfect down pit lane here this evening, especially this late in the race. If you're Rob Tuisky, if you're Mike Killingbeck, you got to be perfect down pit road, and you got to hope that you can have your teammates join you and a few other drivers maybe join you here as well to make this pit stop. You do not want to be a single car or a tandem pack coming down pit road. You want to make sure that there is a lot of drivers with you that can hit pit road here, and now here they come. Woo, doggy, here we go. Pit stops underway, and look out, Corey Crowell really sent it in there deep. Luckily enough, he's able to get checked up, and AC Tuisku, Killingbeck, Jameson Heath, Casey Gross, Corey Crowell there, as well as the 71 of Heath. I believe there was the 00 Colton Manich. James Garland's down there, so we'll have to wait and see what the game plan is here for James Garland. Tough to get a good look here at this car. I believe he's used that quick repair up. He has used that quick repair, so that's great news for Garland. So that car is fixed up and back into one piece now as they exit pit road. Looks like Heath is able to leapfrog the Vanguard Sim Racing ride. So you're going to wonder if maybe he took a little less fuel right there, and if he did he leave himself enough? Was he down pit road long enough to get enough fuel into this car to be good to the end of this race if it stays clean and green? As you do see quickly, Tuisku, Killingbeck, the 77 ride tight together. Nice and easy back down the back straightaway here. Now they're going to start building up that speed, that momentum here, maybe a little bit quicker, being a pack compared to that 71 ride of Jameson Heath. Now the big question mark will be, will they stick with him? Will they go to his back bumper and help push the 71, or are they going to leave him high and dry? There's your answer. They're going to leave him high and dry. They jump to the outside. They say, not a chance. We're going to continue to keep on leading this thing for as long as we can, and they want to sit here at what could be the front of the pack once things cycle back around. But right now, our current race leader is this number 12 rider, Josh Bromfield. Bromfield and his Poor Boy Motorsports rides now lead the charge. Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, 1 and 2, the 69 ride of Joshua Benton, and multiple laps down back there, scored in the 14th position, but up there helping his teammates out here at the front of the field. They still have Evan Fuqua, Michael Wolf, and Nicholas Barton a little farther back there, is our top 5 all yet to make this pit stop here as they continue to keep on rolling. Unfortunately for Barton and for the 5 right of Brandon Puffenbarger, they're falling farther and farther back from that lead pack and kind of losing that draft here. Going to put them into a tough position, but here we go. We do see Josh Bromfield, Evan Fuqua, Anthony Garland, Michael Wolf, Nicholas Barton all hit pit road right here. Now for Barton, he's hoping that he can get down pit road, make a good pit stop, clean pit stop, and try to stick with these guys as they roll back out onto the speedway. Bromfield will hit his pit stall, so won't Evan Fuqua and Anthony Garland. As our final group kind of making their green flag pit stops here this evening. Now, there's a few drivers that will probably still have to make at least one more additional pit stop here this evening. Drivers like Brandon Puffenbarger, Joshua Benton will probably still have to make at least one more stop here this evening. We'll have to wait and see kind of where that's scored and how that's going to work out for them. But for right now, it'll be interesting to see where they come out of the pits at, because for the one ride of Rob Tuwisku and Mike Killingback, they're hoping that they can roll right back around all of these 4-boy motorsports rides and back to the point here this evening. And I believe that's what's going to happen, is down the back straightaway. Big run from earlier pit stop, and there you go. The Vanguard Sim Racing team stays out in front. It's Rob Tuwisku, Killingback 1 and 2. Casey Gross there in third for Corey Crowell and Jamison Heath. 2 more of our championship drivers sticking with this lead pack and able to kind of hang here with this, top 5 battle right here, as the top 5 is now all of a sudden broken away here for Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Evan Fuqua. They're going to have to try to get lined up as quickly as possible right here. They need to get stacked up and hope to try to hunt these guys down, but the longer they take to try to get rolling here and get something built up, the farther and farther behind they're going to fall from that lead pack. Right now, it's grown just in the last half a lap, almost half a second here, as they're losing a ton of time. Finally, it looks like Anthony has reeled in this 12 ride, getting to the back bumper here of Josh Bromfield, and now they get to finally start to pick up that pace and start rolling here. Looks like they also gained the 10 ride on Michael Wolf, so that's a great break there for Wolf as well. And for 3 more of our championship drivers there, Wolf, Bromfield, and Garland, that's Anthony Garland, all need to pick up the pace now, man. They got to make up 3.4 seconds between themselves to the back bumper of Jamison Heath here to join this lead pack, to join this potential battle for the championship here in season number 11. As Rob Tuwisku, Killingback, Casey Gross 1, 2, and 3 is the Vanguard Sim Racing team continuing to just impress here this evening, man. They have been very, very solid all night long, man. Whether it was Wayne Garland leading out there or James Garland leading some laps, obviously now both of those drivers have ran into their own issues throughout this race. But for Vanguard, man, they have spent a lot of time leading a lot of laps here this evening from Daytona International Speedway. They're hoping that they can keep it that same way for the next 32 laps of racing action. It's 32 more laps left to go. Can Vanguard get it done? Can they pick up the win? I mean, Tuwisku may get the win, but can they also pick up that championship? Killingback, their only hope here in the Vanguard Sim Racing stable to win this championship. Can he jump out there, get it done, and put some pride into the Vanguard team here a little bit more, kind of build them up a little bit and, get them something to really cheer about. It's been a bit of a rough season for them for the most part. We haven't really seen too many trips into victory lane out of these Vanguard rides. I think we saw, 1 win, maybe 2 wins out of Tuwisku here this year. So, I mean, it's been some tough sledding for these guys. And obviously Wayne and James, they've had their ups and downs on the season. So this would be a big, big way to finish off the season for Vanguard. If they can not only win this race, but win that championship, man, would be an incredible storyline for everyone to cheer this evening. As Casey Groves, non-playoff driver, they are in third, and then we see Corey Crowell in position number 4. Technically, you see the 0-0 ride still there as well of Colton Manich, who would be in that 4th position. Unfortunately, upload packet loss took him out of this race for quite a while earlier on. He does find himself still 4 laps down out there on the speedway. So unfortunately, as our race leaders, complete lap 170. He's just completing his 166 laps, so he's still quite a bit behind the 8 ball there, and obviously running out of time here massively to have any hope of battling back. Same with Joshua Benton in the 69 ride, but for Corey Crowell, he rolls there in 4th. Jamison Heath in 5th. Our top 5 here, 2 of them right in the middle, are not playoff drivers, are not championship contenders here this evening. As Muse says, Barton needs a caution. Barton needs a caution, does he? Barton, a lot of these drivers need a caution. I mean, when you look at James Garland, who could be in line for the lucky dog, get him back on a lead lap. That'd be great for him. Barton does get picked up here as long as he can get in line with Wayne Garland. And, oh, the 69 right up Benton. Hang on to it, Josh. Oh, no, there he goes. All right, well, there's the caution flag that Benton needed. Oh, man. There's the caution flag that Barton needed right there as, unfortunately, no lucky dog here. And again, another tore-up race car for James Garland, Joshua Benton, and Wayne Garland getting collected in that one as well. As let's take a look back, see what happens as James on the back bumper here, giving some pushes to this 60 ride. It's so hard to get a good angle of these race cars here at Daytona. Why? Why does Daytona have to do that? God damn it, man. So stupid of these guys to do this. How do you do the Control Z? There we go. Okay. Okay, well, that's gonna mess us up a little bit here. Let's get it playing in slow-mo a little bit so we can get another look at it. Get another angle here as well. It's right there. 37 kind of comes down more towards the double yellow line as he makes the initial contact there. Bump through the middle of the corner. Unfortunately, it just kind of stays on him. Can't roll out of it quick enough. And Benton doing everything he can to try to collect it, to try to save it right there. Unfortunately, just nothing working for him. And eventually, that thing just snaps on him here. Goes back up the racetrack. And unfortunately, all over the back end here of a couple of these drivers and taking a few of them out with them here as, again, just no angle here. Let's take a look here. I think right here, 37 takes a peek underneath the 69. 69, I don't know if he's coming down at the same time, if he's trying to throw a block or what the game plan was, but obviously for 37, shoots down low, and I think he just misjudges where the gap was or where the contact was going to be made, and gets into him. Benton then down onto the apron, back up onto the racing surface. He's doing everything he can to try to save it, try to keep pointing in the right direction. Almost had it saved there once, and then starts to go around again. He's back into the apron, and eventually it finally just shoots up the racetrack over the nose of Wayne Garland into the 37 right of James Garland, and all 3 of them end up making hard contact into the outside fence. And for Barton, man, Barton was in a great spot here, man. Barton was in a perfect spot to watch this one. Let's see if we can jump on board with Barton, see what he can see from the cockpit. He needed that caution flag, as that is going to bring him right back into the battle, right back into the action, same with a lot of these other drivers. But this is going to give him, the best seat in the house. So here we go. Down into corner number 3. This is where the contact's going to happen right there. And then doesn't really see, sees a little bit of wobble, and luckily enough, he's able to get down low, avoids the carnage, and that was a close call right there for him. That is a rough one for all 3 of these guys. Bad push, or he took the air off his spoiler. I would say probably, I don't know. It's a tough one. It felt like a bad push. It felt like it was kind of right into that area of potentially getting into that left rear. Let's see if we can get another. Where was that other? This is going to bring us back to it. Let's take a look here at James Garland, and just see it right here. You're going to get a great look at it, and I think right here he jumps down low, and right there, yeah, just a bad push, I think. And kind of see how he kind of comes from square to him. Like right here, I think he would have been good. He would have been square to the back bumper, but then, yeah, I don't know. Just seems like he kind of comes down the track more towards that double yellow line. The 69 kind of stays more into the middle, and See that he's into him right there, and it just kind of hooks him around and takes him around right there. And obviously, we've seen how the 69 ride has been obviously a little bit of a net code, a bit of a magnet here this evening. Unfortunately, that could have played a bit of a factor in that as well. May have been a little bit less of contact and maybe a little bit more net code in there as well. That could have definitely helped just knock that rear end out of the 69 and made it that much tougher for him to try to save it there late in this race. But that's going to shorten our field up even more here this evening, as now we will see we're going to see Wayne Garland stay down pit road here. Excessive damage there to his race car, so he'll be down there for a while. Same with James Garland in the number 14 ride. Joshua Benton, I believe, will be down pit road now with heavy damage here, extensive damage. Edward Belair still down pit road. He's been down here since lap 116. CJ Jeffries obviously done for the race already. So we start with 17. Looks like we are going to have, with Colton Manich still rolling out there, Puffenbarger, I believe, going to get the lucky dog, or multiple lucky dogs here. I guess with everyone else coming down pit road, he stayed out long enough that he was one lap down, and yeah, he gets the lucky dog. So great break there for Brandon Puffenbarger, as this is going to get him back on a lead lap. That's great news here for the number 5 ride, and all of a sudden, for killing back into Wisku, they got their work cut out for him a whole lot more here in this one, as Tuisku killing back 1 and 2 out there on the Speedway. But for killing back Corey Crowell, Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Michael Wolf, Jamison Heath, and Brandon Puffenbarger, 7 of our championship 8, all on the lead lap, all have a chance to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. As here we go, back to battle. Green flag back into the air. 11 cars on the lead lap. 1 car, 1 lap down, still rolling out there on the Speedway. That would be Colton Manich in the 0-0 ride. Now, if there are a few more yellow flags for Manich, he's still 4 laps down, so he's going to need either 4 waiver rounds or 4 quick cautions, and everything else, as Joshua says, we aren't done with cautions yet. Yeah, that's usually the trend. That's usually the trend. There's usually a couple more left waiting here for late in this race, and obviously now, with only 25 laps left to go in this race, the intensity is going to pick up, the action's going to ramp up here, and everyone's going to push as hard as they can to try to put themselves, not only into the race lead, but trying to put themselves potentially into the championship lead here as well. As you do see Anthony Garland, that 76 right ahead of Fuqua. They're making some big moves, a lot of slicing and dicing out there on the Speedway, a lot of movement out of this lead pack, as we did see Jamison Heath and Brandon Puffenbarger kind of hang back here a little bit. This is a bit of a surprise here for us. I'm not sure if this is just a strategy call, knowing that, hey, you know what, things are going to get crazy up there. They want to keep themselves alive, so they just rolled out of it. They did not get great restarts there, and Heath and Puffenbarger are now not in the draft and kind of stuck back in 10th and 11th right now. They are going to need a caution flag to get that game plan to work. I mean, if it stays clean and green, it's going to unfortunately take them out of the running for the championship, but for Mike Killingback, he'll say thank you very much, and now he's got his teammate and him once again lined up, nose to tail out there at the front of the field, but a lot of hungry drivers back there behind him. As here comes Corey Crowell, getting a great shove in the outside lane. Anthony Garland working there right in the middle of the pair of Shenko custom die-cast race cars, and it's working out well for Corey Crowell as it's almost pushed him to the point, as Anthony giving some great shoves there to the 2 ride, and man, they are absolutely zooming in that outside lane, and oh baby, a lot of movement there to Anthony Garland traveling down the racetrack. The 2 ride trying to stick with them, but oh, now we see oh my gosh. Oh, we not seen a caution flag as of yet. Tuisku up the racetrack, bouncing off the outside lane, and unfortunately that had to check everyone else up. That allows Corey Crowell and Anthony Garland to jump out in front as they jump down low back into the inside lane and now lead the charge late in this race, as the action is just starting to get wild here, ladies and gentlemen. They're good on fuel, they're good on tires, And now everyone is absolutely on their A game. Everyone is doing exactly what they need to do and exactly where they need to be to try to put themselves into victory lane here this evening and into potentially the championship here this year. I mean, it's quite surprising that you're seeing a lot of these drivers that are, championship competitors, kind of working together. But if you can get yourself a little closer to the front of the field, also get them a little closer to the front of the pack, and then try to make a move around them, then you got to do what you got to do. As long as you can get there and put yourself into position, you got to get it done. And that's exactly what we saw to Anthony Garland. He had been working with his teammates all night long, and unfortunately, just, got kind of off square with Joshua Bromfield. And for Bromfield, kind of got left high and dry there. Now kind of stuck back in 7th as he watches his teammate Anthony Garland push a Shenko ride to the point here. And now Anthony rolls in 2nd, but that could be the position to be in to try to steal this race away from the 2-ride late in this one. As we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up as we had 20 laps left to go here. Let's get a quick little break in here as our final crank it up of the season, and we'll get ready to rumble for the closing laps of our A-Main feature event in our season finale. After 200 laps of racing action, it's we're getting down to it, man. 200 laps about to come to a close in a quick hurry as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming for the final time here this season. as the laps continue to close down here on our season. We inch closer and closer, not only to a race winner, but our champion here of Season 11 of the Outcast Racing League, as nice and easy backed out through the tri-oval and across the line here at Daytona International Speedway. It is only 11 laps left to go. 11 more laps left to duke it out here this evening. Who will get it done and who can survive the chaos in the closing laps here this evening? As Rob Tuwisku and Mike Killingbeck, the Vanguard Sim Racing teammates, have navigated their way back to the point here. They once again roll 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack. It is Josh Bromfield, another one of our championship competitors, rolling there in third, and his teammate and another championship driver, Anthony Garland, rolling there in position number 4. So we got 3 of our championship 8 currently sitting second, third, and fourth out there on the racetrack right now. You got to look a little farther back to see that number 2 rider, Corey Crowell, as Crowell right now probably our, fourth highest running? 5th highest running, as Michael Wolf, another one of championship 8. The 2 of Crowell in that battle as well. Unfortunately for the 0-0, multiple laps down, and from that restart all the way to now, I mean, Heath and Puffenbarger are still back here deeper in the field, man. They are 27 seconds, 28 seconds back of our race leaders, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if they're going to catch them anytime soon, but if there is a caution flag, I mean, which is definitely more than likely going to happen. I mean, we've seen some very close calls, a lot of contact, a lot of squirreliness out of each and every one of these drivers in these closing laps. It's gonna be a drag race here, man, and it's gonna be survival of the fittest and of the luckiest here in these closing laps, as the 0-0 of Colt Manich is kind of pushing this outside lane exactly the way Michael Wolf needs it to be, and this could move Michael Wolf into the championship lead, and here it is, moving down to the inside on the back straightaway. All of a sudden, Wolf is now our championship leader out there on the speedway. The 1 ride will pick him up. Big shove right here from the 1. Oh, they're getting squirrely again. Down through corner number 4. Back down out of corner 4 here. You see Killingbeck. He wants to make some moves. He wants to try to take a different look at it. Try to find his way up and around this 10 ride, as right now his teammate pushing him here at the front of the field. But look how squirrely these drivers are down the straightaways, as you do see the 1 ride of Tuwisku jumps up to the high side. There goes Killingbeck with him. Here comes Bromfield looking to try to jump into that inside groove, into the back bumper of this 10 machine, hoping that he can try to slice and dice his way in front of Mike Killingbeck. Casey Gross will move up to the high side as well. Big run coming from the 1 ride to the back bumper. There, the Quantum Motorsports machine. It's still Michael Wolf, though, out in front for our championship drivers, as Casey hang on to it. Squirrely down through 3 and 4. Luckily enough, will hang on to it as they're 3 wide for the race lead. Unfortunately for Casey, not a whole lot of help there in that outside groove. He will fall back as the 70 rider Mike Killingbeck inches back out in front here of our championship competitors. Wolf sticking right there, though, trying to stay to his inside, hoping that he can stay right there in that battle, as here comes, oh man, a huge pushes here from that 0-0 Colton Manich all over the back bumper of Mike Killingbeck. Killingbeck, luckily enough, able to hang on to it. The 10 ride, though, does edge out in front with only 7 laps left to go. I don't see how these guys can keep it together, man. I don't think they can keep doing what they've been doing for another 7 laps. There has been way too many close calls. There's been way too many oopsie doopsies out there on the speedway, and one of these times it is not going to get saved. One of these times it will not work for one of these drivers, and we'll have to wait and see if that's the case, though. As you see the 0-0 squirrely there as he moves down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Now there's contact. Fuqua gets into the 0-0 ride. There they go, slideways down and in through corner 1 and 2. Caution flag is out. There is the caution flag that Jameson, Heath, and Braden Puffenbarger desperately needed to keep themselves in the battle here for this championship. Unfortunately, Michael Wolf tied up in this one. Josh Bromfield, heavy damage there for himself. I believe Evan Fuqua, Nicholas Spartan, and obviously Colt Manich going to get tied up in this one, as I believe that's where it starts between Evan Fuqua and Colton Manich, as Manich Going to come down the racetrack here. Follows Killingbeck and Tuwisku down the racetrack to that bottom groove. He's clear, he's clear, and the 76 just kind of drives in there a little too far, maybe gives him a big shot there, and then kind of washes him up the racetrack, back into him again, and into that left rear quarter panel. Awesome look right there, iRacing. Love that. We love seeing all the camper vans, but nonetheless, just the extra hit right here. Just more or less into that left rear quarter panel, just hooks the 0-0 sideways, and then you see everyone else try to go up the track to avoid him. The 10 Ryan gets into the 77 to Casey Gross, and then the 10 kind of gets ran over. The 76 gets tagged by the 0-0. The 12 Ryan's into the middle of it. The 22 of Barton gets a piece of it as well. I mean, some pretty solid damage back here for Wolf and for the 12 right of Josh Bromfield, man. It was a big hit for Bromfield up into the outside fence. Same with the Smoky Ridge Racing 10 ride. A couple big hits there for a couple of our championship competitors. Out there on the Speedway and in the closing laps, it's going to be tough to try to battle back from. But, I mean, if they got those quick repairs, they should be able to keep themselves right in the thick of it, as we'll see these drivers make the decision, hit pit road right here. Some may come down just for fuel. Others may get tires. It's going to be interesting to see as, all right, here we go. We do see Casey Gross. He's going to hit pit road. Bromfield, obviously, he's down pit side with the 0-0. Manich, who's still multiple laps down. Wolf's down pit road. So these guys looking for some big damage repaired here on their race cars, as Grant says, let's go, Evan! Cheered on Evan out there on the Speedway. Fuqua currently rolling in that 4th position. Tough contact there between him and Manich. That just brought up the latest caution flag. And for, Bromfield and Wolf, you got to hope that they got those quick repairs. And I believe for Bromfield did have the quick repair. That car's fixed up for the 10 ride. Definitely still down pit road. Not sure here. He may not have the quick repair left for Michael Wolf. This may be a long trip down pit road, hoping to try to get this thing fixed up, hoping that it can get back into half-decent, good racing condition here. That right front is definitely still looking pretty askew here. Definitely going to need the crew to really go to work on that. Luckily enough, it is Daytona, so he should get a little bit of time here under yellow to try to get that thing repaired and back into the action here, and trying to keep his championship dreams alive this afternoon. As Rob Tuwisku out in front, though. Tuwisku continues to lead the charge here, Killingbeck there in second. Now, what I find is very interesting here is that we've seen Tuwisku and Killingbeck kind of run 1 and 2 for quite a while here in this race. Tuwisku is not a part of our championship 8. Killingbeck is. So for Killingbeck, I mean, you'd almost imagine that Tuwisku would walk Killingbeck in front of him, kind of use Tuwisku as a bit of a pick, a bit of a blocker there, to keep any of these other drivers, any of these other fellow championship competitors back there behind him, but it hasn't quite played out that way. And Killingbeck's just been, pretty solid, running in that second position in behind his teammate Rob Tuwisku here this evening. So maybe Killingbeck just likes pushing a little bit more than he likes, taking these pushes himself. So maybe just a better pusher than he is receiver, as dirty as that sounds. But obviously he's just been kind of solid there in that second position for a lot of this race. And we'll have to see if that's kind of the game plan here through these closing laps, as we will go to a green-white checkered. It's only 3 laps left to go, so it will be a green-white checkered finish. It will be a 2-lap shootout, biting a caution flag. Now, this is not a NASCAR overtime, as this is still our scheduled lap 197 here this evening. So, we will get the green flag. It'll be 2 laps left to go. If they come back and take the white flag, the next flag will end this race. It will be the checkered flag. If the caution flag comes out before the white flag does, then we will stack them up, we will rack them up, and we will head to NASCAR overtime here this evening, where things could get a lot more crazy there in NASCAR overtime. Caution flags can still fly. Obviously, the fuel could become an issue for a few of these drivers if overtime, starts to become a problem. So that could be something to keep an eye on. That could be something interesting here late in this race. But for right now, Killingbeck leads our championship 8. There in that second position. And you do see Corey Crowell, Anthony Garland there in that second row. Jamison Heath back in that 6th position. So in our top 6, we do see 4 championship drivers. And right there behind those guys, you do see the 12 ride of Bromfield. You see the 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger. The 10 of Michael Wolf are all of our championship 7 here this afternoon. It's Colton Manich. I mean, Manich still 4 laps down back there in the 12th position. Unfortunately, I think his chances are pretty much over here this evening. But for our championship 7 left on the lead lap here, all still inside our top 10. All ready to go to battle here. Every one of them ready to go to war for what could be a wild final couple laps here in the Outcast Racing League Season 11. It's down through the restart zone. The green flag is back out. And quickly, you see the number 1 ride of Mr. Tuwiscu able to jump down low, able to jump in front of his teammate of Mr. Killingbeck. So Killingbeck and Tuwiscu once again lined up 1 and 2. The outside lane unfortunately falling apart in a quick hurry as the 81 ride of Anthony Garland finally gets some help here as his teammate Josh Bromfield picks him up. Unfortunately here they're still broken apart. Now Bromfield going to the outside of that 81 ride. Here comes Bromfield. They're 3 wide back here. That's not going to help them at all. And now there's contact. Little beating and banging. That's going to unfortunately set them back a little further. Wolf, unfortunately, in the wrong place at the wrong time there as well. Kind of blocked him back there. As you do see Corey Crowell and Brandon Puffenbarger, teammates hooked up on the outside lane. Throw that 0-0 into the mix as well as Heath down low pushing the 70 ride as the white flag has been displayed. So this will be the final lap here this evening. No matter what, it is a race back to the start-finish line. There is no stopping. There are no brakes. There goes Killingbeck. There goes Tuwiscu. They get turned around at a corner number 2, and it's Corey Crowell who will lead the charge. Big run coming from the 12 ride. Big move by Puffenbarger. He wants to duke it out with his teammate for the championship. Where did Michael Wolf come from? He's poked his nose right into the battle as they exit corner number 4. Drag race down the front straightaway. Who is gonna get it? Crowell. Oh, there's contact back behind him, but it's Crowell who will get it done. Corey Crowell will win our championship here this evening after 200 laps of duking it out. It's the number 2 of Corey Crowell who will win our Season 11 championship and the race here this evening. Puffenbarger, his teammate in the 5 ride, will come home in 2nd, and Jamison Heath will come home in position number 3. Anthony Garland there in 4th. Michael Wolf rounds out our top 5. Josh Bromfield, Casey Gross, Nicholas Barton, Evan Fuqua, Mike Killingbeck, and Rob Tuwiscu are top 11 here in this one. But it's all Corey Crowell as he gets to celebrate here this evening. Not only is our race winner, but our series champion here in Season 11. It's him in the Schenko Racing Diecast Williamsburg Contracting Rides will get lined up here on the front straightaway, and they will burn down the house here at Daytona. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that show, make sure you hit the thumbs up button for us on the broadcast. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today. As boy, oh boy, was that ever a fun one. And now we get to see the spoils of the victor as they burn down the house here at Daytona, man. That was a ton of fun. Craziness throughout those final laps, man. We waited for that all night long. It got kind of lulled there throughout the middle portion of the race here, trying to click off, a good chunk of these laps. So those final 25, 50 laps or so, man, they were absolutely wild. They were absolutely wild. So much fun. Great battles, great racing, and at the end of the night, man, it's Corey Crowell, Puffenbarger, the 0-0. I mean, great thing that Manich came back, helped his teammates out, even though he was kind of out of it, for the championship. I mean, still got back into the race, kept on rolling after losing connection to the server earlier due to packet loss, and there he was pushing Crowell up and into victory here at Daytona, man. That was fun to see. That was awesome to watch. As we'll get ready to pull in our champion and race winner, Corey Crowell, here in just a couple moments. As we'll wait for them. There they are. They're in the booth. So let's get them up here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Mr. Corey Crowell. Hey, Corey, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I do, Aaron. What's going on?
Not much, Corey, man. What a run. What a race, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously a long one. 200 laps, 500 miles here at Daytona International Speedway. And these closing laps, of course, the season comes down to a green-white checkered. And you and your teammates finally get hooked together. You battle your way up to the front, and you get Colt Manich, who unfortunately took himself kind of out of the championship contention, losing, connection to the server there early on, but stuck with it, stayed in the battle here, and here he is late in the race, pushing across the line to not only win this race, but to win the championship here in Season 11 of the Outcast Racing League, man. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind as not only the race winner, but our champion here on the season.
Absolutely a stressful one, that's for sure. Started out beginning of the race, we were just kind of cruising around the back, kind of made it to where we didn't really have to worry about anything coming to the first stage. If there was an incident, we were able to avoid it. Kind of played the same thing with the second stage. Unfortunate that Colton had that internet issue, and he was committed to coming back in here to help us out, so he stuck it through. And then that last run, I gave Puff a horrible push, and put him in the wall, and then I hit the wall myself, but I was able to stay up with the pack. But Puff ended up going 2 laps down, so he had to battle his way. And then coming to the in that last restart, we were trying to figure out what was going to happen, and Puff yelled go high, and I went high, and I didn't see him at first, and then I seen him coming up behind me, and then he was able to push it. And then once we were coming down the backstretch with the white, I kind of seen that inside line go towards the inside apron. From there, it was just numbers, right? So our team was able to stick together. We we were able to squeak one out there finally. Man, stressful.
Definitely stressful, long night, a lot of things that can go right, a lot of things that can go wrong. Obviously, we saw that, for all of you here this evening, we saw you get tore up in one of those wrecks, have your own issues. We saw you and Puff get tied together as well at that one point, and both of you end up with damage, but luckily enough, you just stick with it. Obviously, Puff and Barger stuck with it, got a couple waiver rounds there, got himself back into the action, and then here late in the race, making the moves, making the pushes, and obviously that caution flag to bring us to this green-white checker kind of saved Puff and Barger and Jameson here, because they had kind of played a different strategy off that penultimate restart. They kind of held back and they stayed back, and by the time that caution flag came out there, they were like 30 seconds behind you guys, so they needed that yellow flag if they wanted any chance to get into the battle here this evening, and luckily enough they got it, and Puff and Barger's able to use it to not only come home second here in the race and in the championship battle himself, but also help you and the team kind of come home with the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. There was so many ups and downs throughout that race. There were so many incidents where it was like there'd be a wreck and there wouldn't be a caution, everybody would keep it going, and then you're like, man, now I'm 3 seconds back. So then you're kind of regrouping, you're trying to figure out if you need a leg back to catch the car behind you, so that way you have more numbers in your pack so you can catch back up. But yeah, I'm glad it was a 1-2. I wish Colton was up here so we possibly could have go 1-2-3 on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Colton being multiple laps down, couldn't get that position, but I mean, he was there, and he may have been one of those pushes, one of those shoves that got you just out in front of Puff and Barger, as we saw Puff try to jump down to the inside there, try to battle with you, but also try to protect that inside lane from the drivers back behind you. And luckily enough, it worked out perfectly, and I'm sure either one of you would be happy for one or the other to win this championship, as long as it was one of the team members. And here in this one, man, it's you're the one that gets the win, you're the one that gets the championship, brother. How does it feel to finally be able to kind of break through and win one of these?
Yeah, there was a period of time when Anthony was pushing me, and he says, "Hey, Corey, I feel like we've been in this position before, but only we were teammates." And I said, "Yeah, hopefully it's not the same outcome," which that was a couple seasons ago. But man, I'm relieved. I'm happy that I finally got one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Corey, man, hell of a run, hell of a race, man. Who would you like to thank for not only a great race here this evening, but so many great races all season long?
Yeah, I want to thank ORL for constantly putting these on. I want to thank you for the broadcast. I want to thank everybody that's watching in. And I want to give a shout out to Chris Muse. Thanks for being in the chat for YouTube. Appreciate you in there, giving views. And just everybody that participates and watches. We couldn't be doing this without everybody else. So yeah, and I certainly can't thank my teammates enough for doing everything that they do.
Absolutely, brother. Teamwork makes the dream work, and we saw that pay off here in the closing laps here this evening and watching you guys pick up the championship here this year. Corey, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the championship, brother. Obviously, we're going to have a little bit of off time here for the off season. I know there was talks of potentially some sort of a super Speedway series or something getting fired up through the middle of summer. I'm not sure if that's going to be broadcast or not, but if not, we can't wait to see you back out there for season number 12 of the Outcast Racing League in a couple months from now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a super speedway kind of guy, but yeah, I think after today, I might do that one.
Absolutely, brother. I think you might have a knack for it after the performance you put on there in these closing laps. Corey, enjoy the rest of your night and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
All right, thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner and our champion, Corey Crowell, as Corey picks up the dub, picks up the championship, and gets to celebrate here this evening. Ashenko in the chat says, Packet lost and we still won this championship. Driver and team titles. We didn't quit and fought to the end. Says, let's go, baby. That's what's up right there, brother. That was, heck of a battle, man, and I mean, hell of a run there for you, Colton, to be able to, stick with it, not give up on it, continue to keep on battling, keep on striving, and obviously, even though you couldn't gain the laps back that you were hoping to, you were able to help your teammates, Corey Crowell, obviously win the championship, and Brandon Puffenbarger come home second here this evening, as we're going to get ready to pull Brandon up here into the booth right now. Hey, Brandon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, man, heck of a run, heck of a race for you here this evening, brother. Unfortunately, one spot shy of being able to win this championship yourself, but luckily enough, the one guy that beat you was your teammate, Corey Crowell. But, man, take us back through it, the ups and downs here this evening, as almost everybody went through them, but we saw you at one point a couple laps down. You're able to battle back from it there, and then I don't know if there was a little strategy there in the penultimate restart with you and Heath to kind of hang back, maybe let these guys in front of you wreck each other, and you guys kind of squeeze through there late in the race, and that's kind of exactly what happened, as you were able to get that yellow flag, gain back that 30 seconds or so that you had lost over the final 20 laps or so, and here you are making moves in the closing laps to come home with a solid second place run in the race and in the championship battle. Brother, take us through it. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, it was an eventful race for sure. I think first stage we were kind of just hanging out. No sense in trying to push early. And then second stage, I think that's stage Corey and I were trying to be a little aggressive on the outside line. Just got super late out of, I think that was turn 2 or turn 4, and just instead of wrecking the field, I just put it in the wall. I had to recover from that. I think I went 2 laps down from that, so recovered from that. That second to last restart, I think just me and Jameson got a terrible restart, just misjudged when they were going to launch and all that, so we fell super far behind and got lucky with that last caution. And then that last restart, that was just mayhem. Yeah.
Yeah, mayhem perfectly sums it up there. Everyone just on the throttle. There's no holding back. There's no slowing down, and you're just trying to find any hole, any position that your car can go to try to inch your way closer here to the front of the field. And damn near stole it away from Crowell. Unfortunately, your other teammate there who was able to stick in the battle, stay in this race. Unfortunately, a few laps down there, Colton Manich stayed with that too, Ryan, and virtually gave him the shove there down through that tri-oval to push Crowell into the championship. And you had to settle there for second, man. Take us through, obviously, those closing laps as, you guys are trying to communicate, knowing, where everyone's coming, where these big runs are coming from behind you, and what you guys need to do to try to make sure at least one of you lock down this championship.
Yeah, so that last restart, we got up to speed coming in around 2, and then I think the 10 and a couple others had a huge run. And I was super indecisive, kind of tried to block it a little bit and came right back down in front of Colton, which shot me with a pretty good momentum all the way around to the white flag lap. And I had a run going into 1. And I knew if I could get to Jameson's quarter that I could get Corey the rest of the way. So I got to his quarter and I was like, Corey, just jump high. I'm here. And he did. And yeah, then it looked like off of 2 on the final lap, I think Mike and maybe Rob, something happened there and it kind of just cleared down. And I had a run on Corey. Just going to take it and see what happened. But yeah, I think I owed Corey one of these a couple years ago when I spun Muse on accident across my nose with like 2 to go. So I'm glad he got one. And think we sealed up the team championship too. So it was a win-win today.
Yeah, definitely a win-win here this evening as Brandy, you park yourself here on the podium, second place in this race, second place in the championship battle after another lone season here at the Outcast Racing League. Brandon, who would you like to thank for a great run here tonight and so many great runs all season long?
Anthony and all the admin team for putting this thing on. I know it's a lot of work. You for putting on the broadcast. It's fun to go back and watch it. All the guys for coming out. I know there was a lot of drama this year, but regardless, I had a lot of fun every week. Yeah, and Colton and Corey for teammates. Yeah, that's about it.
Absolutely. Well, Brandon, heck of a run, heck of a season, man. We can't wait to see you back out there for season number 12 and maybe, at the end of that season, one spot better and up there winning the championship yourself, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you back out there for season 12.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our second place driver here this evening and in the championship, Mr. Brandon Puffenbarger. As we get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, it's the 71 of Jameson Heath. Hey, Jameson, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jameson, man, heck of a run, heck of a race for you here tonight, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind after 500 miles of, blood, sweat, and tears out there on the Speedway here this evening.
Yeah, man, it stings a little bit after that, being so close, but man, I just ran the whole race kind of conservative, just trying to keep it there at the end, and I was there at the end, just unfortunate that my drafting buddies on the inside, they got turned, and I had no help from then on, and they just pulled away from me on the outside. But I felt like it was a relatively calm race for most of the race, but that caution with like 6 to go really helped me. I was not gonna even have a chance without that one.
Yeah, luckily enough, that yellow flag came out. We just talked to Puffenbarger about that. Obviously, just not a great restart for either of you, and you guys just fell back and more and more and more and just banking on that yellow flag. And you got close quite a few times. There was a lot of movement up there, a lot of beating and banging. Luckily enough, you finally catch one there, and it gives you guys this opportunity, in the green-white checker to make some moves and battle up there. And obviously, it works out fairly nicely for both of you. Obviously, not the championship, but at least able to jump up here and join us on the podium and at least give yourselves a chance, an opportunity at trying to win this championship, but you come up just a little bit shy here this year. Jameson, who would you like to thank, though, for another great run, great performance here tonight, and so many great runs and performances all year long?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Anthony and everyone behind the scenes who made this whole season happen. This is it for me. I'm done with Outcast Racing League, but it was a fun way to go out. Thanks to you for the incredible broadcast and all the amazing people who race here.
All right, brother. Well, sounds good. I mean, you know, we hate to see it go, and we always love seeing you out there on the racetrack. Hopefully, we'll see you in, you know, maybe a different league, different races, or somewhere back out there again in the future. Here, turning laps and enjoying some great racing here on iRacing, brother. And you know, maybe one of these nights we'll see you back out there and back up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations again on the third place run in the race and third place here in the point standings. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place driver, Mr. Jameson Heath. Jameson comes home in position number 3, man. Great run, great race, great performance there for the number 71 machine. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here in this one. Long race, long time up here in the booth. A lot of talking, a lot of racing action here. These drivers are tuckered out. I'm tuckered out. I got another race. I got another 210 laps to broadcast later from New Hampshire Motor Speedway in about an hour and a half from now. So we're going to call it a night there on that note, man. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. We can't thank you guys enough for watching, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor right now. Hit the thumbs up button on the broadcast. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And we'll see you guys back here, in the broadcast booth in just another hour and a half from now for our next amazing race with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Huge shout out to the Outcast Racing League. Huge shout out to RT3 Designs LLC and to all these amazing drivers here in the series. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll catch y'all back here in the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action